The following is a presentation of ABC Sports. In 1984, from Sarajevo, Yugoslavia to Los Angeles, California, the ABC Olympic tradition continues.
The Iowa Hawkeyes are led into the Gator Bowl by quarterback Chuck Long, whose passing efficiency this season ranked second in the nation, only to Heisman runner-up Steve Young. The Hawkeyes feature an offense that averages close to 500 yards a game, thanks in good measure to Long and his favorite receiver, number 5, Dave Moritz, who caught 50 passes this season as Iowa rolled to a record of 9-2. The University of Florida Gators are also led by a top-notch quarterback, senior Wayne Peace, who's been starting since his freshman year. Peace's prime target this season has been number 83, wide receiver Dwayne Dixon, who despite missing 2 games leads the team in receptions with 47. The Gators defense, meanwhile, features an All-America linebacker, number 88, Wilbur Marshall. At 6'1", 237, he lines up everywhere. A nightmare for the offense and a sure first-round draft choice. The Hawkeyes will have their hands full tonight. ABC Sports presents, live from Jacksonville, Florida, the 39th annual Gator Bowl. Iowa against Florida.
This ABC Sports exclusive is being sponsored by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you, taking charge. By Meisterbrow, a great beer at a great price. By Sharp Electronics Corporation, from sharp minds come sharp products. And by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts, who help you keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
We're at the venerable old stadium, the Gator Bowl, on the banks of the St. Johns River in Jacksonville, Florida. Big annual event in this town in the northeast part of the state. And again, they're sold out. More than 80,000 to look on as the Hawkeyes of Iowa take on the Gators of Florida, the Southeastern Conference against the Big Ten. Well, it was 24 degrees at the Sun Bowl last week, and it was 11 degrees at the Liberty Bowl last night, so I suppose it is downright tropical because it's 34 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida, but at least it is dry after a week of heavy rain as the Iowa Hawkeyes come out onto the turf of the Gator Bowl. There's the head coach, Hayden Fry, who's done a remarkable job. They finished with a record of 9-2. Their only 2 losses were at the hands of the conference champion Illinois, and they of course are playing in the Rose Bowl, and to the conference runner-up Michigan, which will be playing in the Sugar Bowl. So the Hawkeyes have come out onto the field, and they have brought with them about 22,000 folks from the state of Iowa as the Gators now come in to the Gator Bowl. Gainesville is only 72 miles from Jacksonville, so they will be the crowd favorite tonight. 8-2-1. They didn't come that far away from a perfect year. Their 2 losses to Georgia and Auburn, and the tie against Southern Cal. SC tied them on the last play of the game. So a good year for the Gators of Florida. And hello again, everyone. Top coat and all, I'm Al Michaels, welcoming you to Florida. This would have been a very improbable matchup just a few years ago because Florida was staggering along mediocre season after mediocre season. And Iowa, which had been to the Rose Bowl January 1st, 1959, subsequently went 23 years without appearing in another bowl game. In fact, had 19 non-winning years. But Charlie Pell took over at Florida in 79, had a winless first year, but turned it around in 80, and tonight they're playing in their 4th consecutive bowl game. Iowa, meanwhile, got things turned around under Hayden Fry, and tonight will be their 3rd consecutive bowl appearance after they had been to bowls only twice in their entire history. My regular partner is Lee Grosskopf. He would have been here tonight, but he's recuperating, and we might say recuperating rather well from a recent stomach ailment. So in his stead, a man who's no stranger to you, Frank Broyles. And Frank, as you approach a bowl game as a coach, you have to approach it differently than the regular season. How do you see this one tonight?
Well, we've got to remember that Iowa has not played a game in 6 weeks. Florida has only played one in 7 weeks. And because of holidays, And Christmas, they've only had 8 practices. And your running game suffers, so you rely primarily on your quarterback. That's the key. And Chuck Long of Iowa is an awfully good one. He's big and strong. He has that quick, accurate arm. He's set 12 school records, and he'll throw from anywhere on the field. Then, of course, we have Wayne Peace from Florida, who's also an outstanding quarterback. 4 brilliant years as a starter, has 7 records, NCAA, Southeastern Conference, or Florida, and he also will throw from anywhere on the field. Both extremely capable.
Could see a lot of points on the board tonight. Iowa comes in averaging 34 points a game, but if you are an aficionado of defense, got a couple of good linebackers tonight to look at. 2
great ones, and linebackers are the key in the heart of any defense. Larry Station of Iowa is outstanding. Just a sophomore, all conference, and the Big Ten coaches feel he may be the best in America. And also we go to Wilbur Marshall, who's 2-time All-American, the bell cow for Florida.
Should be a close one tonight as Iowa comes in ranked 10th in both polls. Florida ranked number 11. Florida a slight favorite, and we'll kick it off right after this.
One video game system has the most going for it. It plays the most games, the best-selling games. In Television 2 and the new System Changer. Plus, new arcade games like Bump and Jump. If you can't bump them, you've got to jump them. And Masters of the Universe with super graphics. You're He-Man, the most powerful human in the universe. But what you're up against isn't humans. Bump and Jump and Masters of the Universe. New for in Television 2. It's got the most going for it.
Torture test after torture test. Day and night. The wear and tear of 5 tough years in just 15 weeks at the General Motors Proving Grounds.
All yours, Brenda.
Even if you never put your GM car through anything like this, it's good to know we did. Nobody sweats the details like GM.
What keeps America going on a freezing day?
Presto!
What brings football fans up to Green Bay?
Presto!
A radiator could look this bad after just 10,000 miles of driving on weak, neglected antifreeze, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. That's the Prestone difference. Now go with Prestone and save. Buy 2 gallons right now, and we'll send you $2 back by mail.
America saves with Prestone.
In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell started a communications revolution.
Watson, come here. I want you. Watson, 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 Watson.
Watson and Watson.
Today, there's a new revolution from AT&T Information Systems.
Glad you could join us, Mr. Watson.
We still on for lunch, Watson?
Goodbye for now, Watson.
AT&T Information Systems.
So the Gator Bowl is sold out. Some folks may elect not to show up tonight. It's possible. Not those from Iowa. When you make the trip down from Iowa City and Cedar Rapids and the entire state, they've come down for their 3rd consecutive bowl game, and they're getting spoiled after years and years of never going to any postseason action. They went to the Rose Bowl 2 years ago, and then the Peach Bowl last year in Atlanta. And here are the folks from Iowa at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, and they're not complaining about the weather because, as they put it, when most of them left home, it was about 15 below.
This is a sunny day for the people in Iowa and Arkansas and everywhere in the Midwest. It's been extremely cold.
You're not going to get too much sympathy from most of the rest of the country. So 34 degrees is the game time temperature, and the Iowa Hawkeyes will receive. That's Ronnie Harmon, who is a wingback in their offense and their leading kick returner. He is back deep along with Norman Granger as Iowa receives. The Gators of Florida, a slight favorite in this game. To kick off is Chris Perkins, who is their kickoff man and long field goal man. Bobby Raymond is their other place kicker, and he's exceptional. Good deep kick, fielded 5 yards in the end zone by Harmon. And Iowa starts from the 20-yard line as we look at the Hawkeyes. All right, we talked about Chuck Long at the top, the All-Big Ten quarterback. Eddie Phillips will alternate with Owen Gill. Norm Granger is the fullback, the blocking back. Ronnie Harmon is the man with the most speed, and Dave Moritz is their leading receiver. He's a disciplined route runner, a man who does not possess exceptional speed, but just seems to get where he's supposed to get, and as a consequence, he's been one of the best of all time at Iowa City. 1st and 10, Hawkeyes from the 20-yard line. And it's Granger straight ahead on a very simple first play for a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. John Ault is all Big Ten. He's 275 pounds. He's flanked by Tim Hanna, the left guard. Then in the middle, Joel Hilgenberg of the famous Hilgenbergs of Iowa. John Relk, the left guard. Joe Lavellis comes out of Lindenhurst, New York on Long Island. Mike Hufford, whose brother plays on defense, is the tight end. We talk about the famous Hilgenbergs. Joel's brother Jay starts for the Bears, and of course Wally, his uncle, a longtime star with the Minnesota Vikings. 2nd down, 8, Hawkeyes from the 22-yard line. As Long throws, and it's incomplete. The pass is short at the 28-yard line, intended for Bill Brohammer. The Florida defense, Harris, Newton, and Cleveland are the down linemen, and Johnson and Marshall, Korf, and McAllister, the linebacking core. Marshall lining up all over. Eastman and Vaughn are the corners. The safeties are very good. Tony Lilly gets a lot of publicity, number 18, but the pros really love Randy Clark, the strong safety, number 81. They think he'll go very high. 3rd down and 8. That's Harmon in motion. On a draw play, it's Phillips, who is stopped at the 25-yard line. So the Florida defense is able to hold Iowa. Mark Korf, number 59, one of the few non-Floridians on this team. He's from Granada Hills, California, went to Pasadena Junior College, and they recruited him from out west. And he's the man very happily coming back to the bench because Florida will be getting the ball. Roger Sibold and Tony Lilly are back to receive as they send 2 men back. And Tom Nickel, who's also the place kicker, does the punting. It's a wobbly kick. They let bounce at the 43, and it bounces inside the 35-yard line and is down at the 34. As the Gators take over there, so the kick, a bouncing kick, travels 42 yards, and Wayne Peace will lead the Gators up to the line of scrimmage. He has Neil Anderson. We'll also see a lot of Lorenzo Hampton. John Williams is a good fullback. He's averaging almost 7 yards a carry. B. Lang is one wide out, and their leading receiver, Dwayne Dixon, is the other. Lang has more speed. Dixon runs the better routes and has the great hands. Lang is wide to the left, and Dixon is wide to the right. Williams and Anderson are the running backs on 1st down from the 34-yard line. They start with John L. Williams, who flips a tackle, gets to the outside, and picks up about 4 yards. The Gators up front, and it's a veteran unit. Lomas Brown has really come into his own this year. 2nd team All-Southeastern Conference. John Hunt, the senior, is 261. Phil Bromley is a great story. We'll tell you later. Buddy Schulteis is the right guard. Scott Trimble starts at right tackle, 291 pounds, and Tom Petty is the tight end. 2nd down and 6 from the 37-yard line. Peace on a short roll, throwing against the grain, and incomplete, and the official had to reach for the flag. It took him a while to get it out, but he did indeed. B. Lang was interfered with by Mike Stoops, number 41.
Al, it could go either way because the offensive man's responsibility is to dodge the defensive man.
And it will. It's going to go against the offense. Exactly.
The rules are very clear this year, and the point has been made by David Nelson, the Secretary of the Rules Committee, that the offensive man must keep his hands off of the defensive man, must avoid him. It's his responsibility. It's a 15-yard penalty and loss of down.
Offensive pass interference. Here. Rush is down. Here.
James Garvey is the official, and there are the rest of them. He's a school principal, and the men he works with tonight. So our first flag, and it's 3rd down and 20 from the 23-yard line. Peace getting good protection, but nobody's open, and now he has to scramble, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage by Tony Wenkett, number 92, a junior from Atkinson, Illinois. Most of the Florida Gators come from here in Florida. Interestingly, as we'll point out through the night as we read the hometowns for you, A lot of the Iowa players come from Illinois and some even from the New York and New Jersey region.
Well, the Florida high schools have the highest concentration of outstanding athletes of any southern state. We'll discuss that, as Al mentioned, a little bit later.
The kick by Criswell is a bad one, but it takes a nice Florida bounce and is down at the 38-yard line by Robert Smith. So each team has had it once, and the Hawkeyes will start again this time from the 38. 12:39 to go in the first quarter of the Gator Bowl.
Hey, send your entry back in the new Reader's Digest Cold Hard Cash Sweepstakes?
Nah.
Too bad. Your neighbor did. Looks like she just won the $250,000 grand prize. She even won bonus cash for mailing her entry back early. With 40,000 other cash prizes, you could have been a winner, too.
Winner?
Well, even if you didn't enter, at least your neighbor won. Watch your mail this week for the new Reader's Digest Sweepstakes. And send your entry back fast.
A ranger never takes the easy way out.
You're reaching deep inside you for things you never know.
That's why getting into the Rangers is tough, and the training's tough.
Be all that you can be.
So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special.
Be all that you can be.
And I'm not the only one.
You can do it in the Army.
As a 1976 Olympic silver medalist and 1982 overall World Cup champion, Bill Koch has only one challenge left, Olympic gold. Just wait.
12 minutes and 39 seconds remaining. First quarter at the Gator Bowl. 80,000, most of whom are wearing thermals tonight, looking on.
Well, I've got my thermal on and a sweater and a coat, and I'm still cold.
Had to borrow an overcoat tonight, is that I'm sure a lot of the folks in the stands. Not too many people came very well prepared. First down for the Iowa Hawkeyes from the 38-yard line. Chuck Long dropping straight back. Look at that protection. He has all day. As his receiver, it's Harmon who's pushed back by Bruce Vaughn, number 47. Forward progress is out to the 46-yard line, gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Wilbur Marshall is an expert at rushing the passer, number 88. Our coaches told me we're going to have at least one man on him, sometimes two. And we see Lavellis, number 55, roll him into the ground, giving Long plenty of time to pick out and choose his receiver.
Chuck Long is a junior. There are 9 seniors in the starting offensive 11. So a big rebuilding job there next year, but at least Long will be back. 2nd and 2. Again, tremendous protection. Has a lot of time, but the secondary does its job as well, as Dave Moritz was covered by Bruce Vaughn down the sideline.
We need to talk about the Florida defense, which is a little bit different than many we've seen this year. We're accustomed to a lot of blitzing and firing of linebackers to try to put pressure on the passer. Not so with Florida. They play a very basic, conservative, defending type of defense. As we look at the 1983 offense comparisons of Iowa and Florida, we see the tremendous balance. What's really impressive to me is the total yards, 488 and 398, and how they got a threat to run and threat to pass is the key to winning football games. Both have it.
3rd down and 2, a long 2, short 3 as they go with the fullback. That's Norm Granger, and he picks up the first down as he takes it to the 50-yard line, and Freddie McAllister makes the tackle.
Defensive football is a guessing game, a playing of checkers. The University of Florida, recognizing that Chuck Long, the Iowa quarterback, uses a lot of audibles, they're trying to disguise and bluff their coverages to sabotage the use of those audibles and make him call the play, run the play that he called in the huddle. And there's Hayden Fry, just done a fantastic job. A great teacher, perfectionist at University of Iowa.
Fry in his 5th season, prior experience, many years at SMU, and then after that at North Texas State. Ball just over the 50, and they go with Eddie Phillips, who chugs his way down to the 42-yard line. He is the all-time leading ground gainer in Iowa history out of Chicago at 6'1", 215 pounds, a senior.
Iowa has a senior offensive line, and you can see the hole and the way they sustain their blocks. The key to being a good blocker, the offensive line coach always says, keep your face and stay off your face, meaning you keep locked up with a defensive man. Good execution by the line.
Ball at the 42-yard line. It is second down and a short 3. No score early in the first quarter. That's Granger taking it inside the 40, and he has a first down. Norman Granger, who is their short yardage man, but then you take a look at the statistics and see where Granger carried the ball 62 times this season, and he is averaging just under 7 yards a carry.
Al,
that's pretty good.
That's remarkable. Granger, number 26. As Al mentioned, fullbacks run on short yardage and run basically straight ahead plays. They're supposed to average 3 or 4 yards, but Granger has 6.9. A remarkable performance for this young man during the 1983 season.
Well, these two teams really mirror themselves in many ways. Peace and Long and the tailback tandems that each possess. And the fullbacks are similar. Williams is out of the Granger mold. First down, Iowa at the 39-yard line. Exceeded the delay of game.
Delay of the game. Al, we were just getting ready to see Florida do something extreme for the first time on defense. They were going to blitz their linebackers and fire their strong safety. And the Iowa team took a little bit too long in getting their play called.
And now
Here
Dave
goes the
Moritz.
25-second count offense. First down.
You saw Dave Moritz come in with the play. Settling in.
Yeah, Al, Hayden Fry calls his own plays from the bench. He gets some help from the press box, but he calls them himself. One of the few head coaches that does this.
First and 15 now from the 43-yard line. Iowa with the ball in Florida territory, and here they come from the outside, but Long was able to escape the rush and then throws complete to Harmon. There's a penalty flag down as Harmon is run out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Wilbur Marshall was the man who came in, but Long was able to escape. And we'll see about the penalty.
Good block by Granger on Marshall that let Long break containment, allowed him to break containment.
And the call is against Florida for encroachment.
From the low angle, watch the top of your screen. You're going to see a good block by Granger on Marshall, number 88. Took a good shoulder roll block, Long breaking containment.
Outside. Defense. First and 10.
Oh, they just swapped out the penalties.
Well, what they did, too, is they took the penalty here because they had a choice of either having it first and 10 or second and 8 because the play game would amounted to 7 or 8 yards. It was first and 15, so they've elected to utilize the extra down.
Long doesn't roll out that often, but I guess he recognized that to move the pocket around does give problems to the defense.
So we're right back where we started.
Al, multiple launching points for the quarterback. That's what one coach told me a couple of weeks ago. Something new in coaching all the time.
Multiple launching points. First and 10. As Granger, a play that didn't fool anybody, in particular Roy Harris, number 99, who leaps on him, 6'2", 258. Harris, a senior out of Winter Garden, Florida, and he's the team's leading tackler.
He's the quickest defensive lineman of the Gators, big and strong, and has that quickness that engages the offensive offense very quickly and reacts to the football.
Second down and 11. Iowa, as you can see, this season, some of the numbers they have run up and their season records that they have set. It's been a very potent offense. It's been a crowd-pleasing offense, and it's resulted in a record of 9-2. And out of the shotgun now, Long is under severe pressure, but dumps it off on the screen to Granger. Granger inside the 35 to 30 and to the 21-yard line. And that's the price you pay as McKeever comes up with the ball, but I think they're going to rule it dead. They're going to rule it dead at the 21-yard line, and that's the price you pay when you rush all those people and they come in and penetrate and you're able to get the play away.
Couldn't have called a more perfect play. The screen pass against the blitz. The rush was coming, ignoring anything but getting to Long. Long being in the shotgun, number 16 from behind the offense. Watch the lineman rush. They're coming, ignoring anything. Now the wall of blockers set up for Granger, number 26. He juggles it momentarily, picks up the blocking of the line, cuts back, and makes a nice gain for the first down.
To the 21-yard line he goes. 19-yard pickup. We've got a reverse as Phillips gives it back to Harmon, and Harmon, if he goes down, what a loss this is going to be. Now he improvises and throws a duck that is dropped at the 1-yard line.
And there's flags all over the field, too.
That was not in the playbook.
Well, Hayden is a finesse coach. I have Al, as I told you earlier, I coached Caden Fry in college. He has a flair for the unusual. Here's a pitch back reverse pass. Harmon, who is a running back, has thrown the ball. You can see that they have number 81, I think, has the face mask, which was Randy Clark, the strong safety. Harmon does a great job to get away from the play, and Bruce Vaughn was defending, but the receiver, March, comes back. Once the ball is thrown up, he's the defender to prevent the interception.
Defense lines up. Offside. First down.
Alonzo Johnson was the man who lined up offside.
Well, another penalty in this part of the field really hurts. Now 1st and 5 in 4-down territory puts the defense at a very much disadvantage. As we look at Hayden Fry, his record for 5 years, 34 wins and 23 losses.
And so after all that, it's 1st down and 5 from the 17-yard line. The crowd is very noisy as Long barks the signals and gives it to Granger. He takes it to the 14-yard line. He is stopped there by Greg Cleveland, number 64, from Orlando, Florida.
This is the part of the field that the defense of Florida, we can anticipate some blitzes and crashing, crowding the line of scrimmage. If we look at Charlie Pell, who also is a perfectionist, he's a good teacher. First and foremost, football coach has to be a good teacher. Charlie Pell meets that mold.
2nd down and a long 3 just inside the 15-yard line. No score midway through the 1st quarter, and the whistle had stopped the play before its inception. That was Granger, but the whistle had blown the play dead.
When the umpire drops the flag, it's usually the offensive lineman moving.
Illegal procedure is the call against the Hawkeyes. So it's been a penalty-filled 1st quarter. I guess in good measure, Frank, because of the fact, as you mentioned early on, the teams have not played very much in the last 6 or 7 weeks.
Well, that's a good point, but also the crowd noise is a big factor.
Pinball foul. Illegal procedure. Offense. 2nd down.
The crowd noise, Al, right in that part of the field was at such a level that the lineman could not hear it.
Everybody yelling to keep warm.
Here's the Iowa Hawkeyes 9-2 record. You can see they lost to Illinois and they lost to Michigan. It's the first Iowa team that's won 9 games in the regular season in 70 years.
But take a closer look there. You can see they started the season with a huge win over Iowa State, then 2 big wins. Then they had the letdown against Illinois. But it's been a good season for them. Timeout here, 7:36 to go in the period. No score.
Sharp introduces a revolutionary change for the copy center. The compact, affordable Sharp SF900. It has 3 different reduction modes and an enlargement mode. It does a fast 40 copies per minute and has an optional sorter and automatic document feeder. In short, it does all the work of a copy center without taking up all the room.
The compact, affordable Sharp SF900. From Sharp Minds comes Sharp products.
Tonight is the premiere of one of the new Texaco System 2000 stations, already in some cities. A bold new look with computerized pumps and more of them, so you can wait on yourself and get in and out faster. System 2000 is so convenient, it's already the most popular station in Texaco history. Texaco System 2000, serving you through the year 2000 and beyond. Regular or super unleaded?
In 1 week, this baby is going to blow you away. The premiere of Blue Thunder.
Iowa has just spent a timeout. 7:36 to play in the 1st period, no score. And the Hawkeyes have the ball at the Florida Gator 15-yard line. It is 2nd down, 8. Phillips wrapped up to the line of scrimmage by Greg Cleveland, number 64. They moved him from offensive tackle in the spring, and Tim Newton helped out from the middle, number 56.
Good defense by Florida. Pursuit up and down the line has been the strength of the Florida defense all season long, and that was a perfect example. They had about 7 orange shirts over there on the tackle. That pleases the coaching staff.
Again, the plays being shuttled in. You were mentioning, Frank, it's interesting with the plays getting shuttled in. Oft times they're running right down to the end of that 25-second clock. It's already cost them once. The clock is down to 5, 4, and they get it off with 3 on 3rd down and 8. As Long throws and has it picked off at the 5 by Tony Lilly. He's out past the 30. He cuts back, runs into his own man, and goes down at the 43-yard line. So that's the end of that drive, and now Florida has good field position. Dave Moritz, the intended receiver, but Tony Lilly, first team All-Southeastern Conference, steps in front to pick it off and run it back. He had 4 interceptions during the regular season.
Lilly has great anticipation. Our coaches told me they fear him more than any Florida defender, and here's a perfect reason. He's a safety man, but he anticipated where the ball was going to be thrown. He came up in front of the receiver, picked the ball off, and stopped the potential threat. Just a great play by a fine safety man, Tony Lilly, number 18.
And we also have a penalty marker on the run back, apparently. Flag was dropped at the 26. It is, so most of that run back is negated as the clipping call moves the ball back to the 13-yard line.
Al, is just a tremendous play by Lilly, coming up in front and picking the ball off. No reason to defend behind the goal line.
So Florida takes over, but not quite in as advantageous a position with no score in the first period.
Me and my brother started with one truck. He drove nights, I drove days. I'll tell you one thing we learned. You give a customer good service at a fair price, they'll stick with you. People who make Meisterbrau beer must have learned the same thing. When I first tasted Meisterbrau, I thought it tastes just as good as Budweiser. When I found out how much it cost, I thought it tasted even better.
Gentlemen, the bar is open.
Introducing Meisterbrau. Tastes as good as Budweiser at a better price.
This is Mr. Goodwrench. Did you know that your GM car's engine uses more air than gasoline? For every sip of gas, it takes 15 gulps of air. That's why a clean air filter helps keep you from wasting power or damaging your engine. So let Mr. Goodwrench check your air, fuel, and oil filters. Chances are you'll save gas and money, too.
It's another of Mr. Goodwrench's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Tony Lilly, it would have been a 39-yard interception return were it not for the penalty. A senior out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Here's the play again.
Chuck Long telegraphed where he's going to throw the ball. He looked at Moritz, the receiver, for about 2 or 3 seconds. Lilly came right in front of him. Just a great anticipation by Lilly and break on the ball.
After the clipping call, Florida starts from the 13-yard line. Their second possession. It's Anderson who's shot past the 20. He's to the 30, the 40, and has one man to beat. Cuts back and can't beat him, but he takes it all the way to the 39. Keith Hunter, number 14, was the man who saved the touchdown, the cornerback, on a great burst by Neil Anderson over the left side.
From the end zone, on this particular play, the backs are taught run for 4 yards. When you see a little daylight, be sure you make the 4 yards. The big plays just happen by the individual effort of the ball carrier. Anderson, just an outstanding sophomore, comes all the way down the field before he's finally knocked down by the defensive back.
And he gets it again, does Anderson, as he takes the ball to the 35-yard line for a gain of 5. Most people who have seen Florida this season will tell you that Anderson is the better inside runner, and Lorenzo Hampton, number 7, with whom he alternates, is the better outside runner. But Neil looked pretty good going to the outside that time.
He certainly did. When he cut back, he saw a little daylight, and he threw it into the afterburner.
Second down, 6. Florida at the Iowa 36-yard line with no score in the first period. It's the fullback, Williams, who threw a nice block on Anderson's long run. And he takes the ball to the 31-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Gators at the Hawkeye 31-yard line. And on Monday night, January 2nd, of course, it'll be the Sugar Bowl, where Michigan, 9-2, takes on Auburn, 10-1. Auburn ranked 3rd in the country at 8 Eastern time here on ABC. And yet another bowl matchup featuring the Big Ten against the Southeastern Conference, which has been an unlikely matchup until this year. The first down is Anderson. Vaults over the middle and gets to the 28-yard line. couple of conferences that normally don't schedule each other during the regular season, but meeting in a couple of bowl games.
Al, I cannot count on one hand the number of games that I can remember between the two conferences, and each claim to be one of the strongest in America, and they are. So we're glad to have these good matchups. Good for the football.
Fans like to see it, too.
Yes.
They've been speculating for years. People love to talk about which region plays the best football. And again, we've got flags before the snap. In fact, 4 of them went down, so the penalty was quite obvious as it's illegal procedure against the Gators. And a penalty-filled first period, both Tom Petty and Lomas Brown jumping that time.
Al, you made a proper point earlier that these teams have only practiced 8 times, and they lay off, and it takes a little while in the first quarter to get their timing back and get tuned.
Offense, first down.
Hayden Fry felt before the game that this was as ill-prepared as any of his teams have been since he arrived at Iowa, simply because of the weather factor. They have missed several practices down here. First down from the 33-yard line. First and 15. Williams getting nowhere. Loss of a couple back to the 35. Larry Station, number 36, made the stop. Frank, I mentioned before Phil Bromley, number 50, the center for Florida. A fascinating story, a man who broke his hand early in the season, but pick it up and tell us what happened after that.
Well, it's a remarkable achievement by Bromley. He broke his right hand 2 days before the Southern Cal game. He would have to lay it out for 6 weeks. He said, Coach, I can snap it with my left hand, and he did. Watch number 50. He's got the ball in his left hand, and he's played beautiful ball all season long. Only 1 fumble.
Second down, 17. That was Hampton in motion, and Hampton is the recipient of the pass. It doesn't go very far. He's out of bounds.
There's another flag down, Al. It looked like the offense beat the starting count again.
Illegal motion. Hampton may have been going forward.
Al, that is the 6th penalty of Florida in the first quarter. They have been averaging only 7 per game during the entire season.
That is an unlikely sight in Florida, but
the fullback moves up with a man in motion. Stay down.
It's 34 degrees. The fullback was the man who moved up with a man in motion, so Hampton was okay, but John Williams moved up, so they had 2 men in motion at the same time is what it amounted to.
And that's illegal. Canadian ball is good.
Yeah. Second down and 23 at the 40-yard line. Peace has 3 men sent wide, and now he sends one of those. Hampton in motion. Rolls. Finds Hampton again on the similar play. Inside the 30, and he gets to the 23-yard line. So they got a good chunk of it back. They'll spot it at the 24. Keith Hunter ran him out of bounds, and they are about 7 yards shy of a first down. Tim Brandt is working the sidelines tonight, and let's hear from Tim tonight.
Al, you've been mentioning the weather. You can tell both teams are enjoying a fast track tonight, and it's very, very unheard of after all the torrential rain we've had all week. But there has a high crowd on this field. There is a good drainage system. They had a helicopter come in earlier this week, especially last night, to use that wind to dry off the field.
And here in Florida, it's a good point. The drainage is so good here. They had literally monsoon-type weather, tornadoes and hail and everything, and several inches of rain over the past week as Florida takes a timeout, so they'll try to gather everything together to culminate this drive with 3:42 to play in the period.
Light up your eyes, unwrap your smile, let your arms undo the miles, bring your heart back home and find that special place. Decorate your time with laughter, let the hours live ever after. Memories of love made home a special place.
In the past 40 years, we at Chevrolet have brought more people home for the holidays than anyone. We wish you all the best, America. A better, brighter, happy new year.
Memories of love make home a special place. Memories. Decorate your time with laughter.
The sweetest
Bowl of the year. Number 3 ranked Auburn tries to stir things up with Michigan in the Sugar Bowl. January 2nd on ABC.
The Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. It's been a scoreless and penalty-filled first period. 3 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the quarter. And Florida has the ball at the Iowa 24-yard line. 3rd down and 6.
Al, a new formation for Florida. Tackle over, in on the weak side.
And Peace rolling to his right, finding his receivers covered, in trouble, but scrambling. Somebody trying to get loose, and then Peace gets almost to where he has to go for the first down as he works into the 18-yard line. Great improvisation. He was chased by Mike Hooks.
Peace is big and strong, and from the low angle, let's watch the value of having a quarterback who has the presence of mind to not throw the ball into the crowd. His receivers are covered. Hooks, number 91, misses him. Now Peace rolls back, picks up a couple of blockers. He needs 6 yards for a first down. Hooks makes a great effort to try to stop him, but it's very close on 4th down.
He is about a half yard shy of a first. So they'll eschew the probable field goal, line up in a power I, and then break that with Williams in motion and give it to Anderson for the first down. Anderson, if he has to, is a great leaper. He can dive, and he can get you that first down on short yardage or get it into the end zone if he has to. And he's just given him the first down at the 15.
Florida football team has failed to score touchdowns on this part of the field virtually 45% of the time that they get into 4-down territory. So they want to get it and stick in the end zone in this first quarter.
1st and 10, Florida from the 15-yard line. The sole setback here is Williams. They send Hampton to the left. They pitch it to Williams. Inside the 10, and Williams should have a first down, depending on the spot. Buddy Schulteis threw a great block, a senior from Naples, Florida, who's been a durable offensive lineman for them. They do not give him the first down. They say his progress was stopped just shy of the 5, so they are inches shy of a first down with 2nd down upcoming. 2 minutes to go in the period.
Here's John Williams, the sophomore fullback who's had just an outstanding year, averaging close to 7 yards a try.
Hampton is the tailback. He has the ball, and Florida has another first down.
Al, it's very obvious from up here that the Florida offensive line is getting the jump on the Iowa defense. They've controlled it. Let's look at it from a low angle. Watch Bromley and the offensive line. You can see the running area and room that they had, that Hampton has, and he twists and turns and fights for extra yardage. But on that part of the field, 2 and 3 yards is a good gain.
Little helmet cracking right there with Mike Stoops coming in, number 41. 1st and goal from the 3 with Williams in motion. They give the ball to Anderson, who tries to nudge his way through. He is short, but they have 3 more cracks from the 1-yard line as the clock runs, and we have 1:10 to play in the first period. This drive started with Tony Lilly's interception. Interestingly, it has been a drive that has had a lot of penalties, and yet Florida has been able to pick up first down after first down, and they have nearly gone the length of the field.
Good quarterbacking makes up those penalties. The quarterback can scramble and complete the key passes. Peace can do it.
2nd down and goal. Anderson again. Touchdown Gators.
From the low angle, we'll watch that touchdown again. Anderson, number 27, has plenty of room to run. Good blocking by Williams, the fullback, and the offensive line. Neil Anderson goes in for the first touchdown of the ball game.
John Hunt, number 68, should get an assist with his block. So it is 6-0 going on 7. And Bobby Raymond, who kicked 6 field goals in the regular season finale against Florida State, is in to attempt the extra point, and the kick is perfect. So a long drive ends with 7. 40 seconds remaining in the first period. Florida on top 7-0. And I spoke with Charlie Pell yesterday as he completes his 5th season at Gainesville. And I asked him if he was pleased with the success since his move from Clemson after the 1978 campaign.
Well, I really thought we'd be a little bit farther. I thought we could have won our first conference championship at Florida before now, and this team was capable, in my opinion. The schedule got us this year. Auburn, who is a conference champion, had the best team they've had in probably a half a century. And Georgia, of course, has one of their top teams again. So, but we're closer. Our program's solid, and I think we're going to be contending for championship football for a long time to come.
Charlie, Hal, you know Florida has been under investigation by the NCAA. The newspapers have pounded that they will be put on probation in the next 2 or 3 weeks. This has been a handicap that Charlie Pell has faced during the entire season.
His team leads by a score of 7-0 as Chris Perkins kicks off. And it's Harmon back to receive 2 yards in. Thought about stopping. Now he comes out. And as it turns out, about the same result. A little bit better, though, with the run back as he gets to the 23. The speculation is, amongst many in this state, is that Florida will go on probation. One thing, though, whether they do or they don't, it's been a long, lengthy, thorough investigation by the NCAA. And when you go through something like that, and Pell was saying yesterday, you really have to experience it to know what it means. I can't tell you what it's really meant because it just really occupies so much of your time. It's on the minds of your players. It's on the minds of the alumni and the administrators, and it's a very difficult situation. First down as Granger carries the 3 to the 27-yard line. If nothing else, Frank, it has to be a major distraction.
It is a distraction both for the players and the coaches. They don't know what's going to happen. The NCAA works in this as fast as they possibly can, but because of different laws and requirements, it takes a long time.
So it remains to be seen what will happen. But they like to put it out of their minds, at least for tonight. And basically, all things considered, they did a pretty good job putting it out of their minds this season with a record of 8-2-1. The 2 losses to very good opponents in close games and the 1 time with Southern Cal. So the quarter has expired. Iowa with the ball deep in their own territory as we start the second period. After 1, Florida 7, Iowa nothing.
A welder becomes mysteriously ill, then another, and another. An environmental expert from Aetna Life and Casualty is called in. He does some tests and makes a startling discovery. Vapors from a chemical solvent, combined with the heat of the welding, produced a deadly gas. Once Aetna solved the mystery, the workers could return to work safely. One more reason more and more companies are glad they met Aetna.
Aetna, I'm glad I met you.
Mom, it's Adam. All in one box?
One box. Adam, the complete computer system with 80K memory console, digital data drive, daisy wheel printer, and professional keyboard. All in one package. Adam, with a built-in word processing program.
Adam, move that paragraph. Okay, print.
A letter quality printer, even a super game system that plays all ColecoVision and new super games. Command the powers of Adam and program your future.
Mr. Post?
Need some help?
I'm your Bell Yellow Pages representative, here to help you.
I'm in the Yellow Pages.
Look at all those trees.
10 acres. We specialize in dwarf fruit trees.
Say that in the Yellow Pages, where 4 out of 5 people let their fingers do the walking.
That is helpful.
Hi.
This is Mrs. Post.
I'm interested in all your fruit trees.
Oh, you must have a big backyard.
Get the Yellow Pages talking.
Dwarf fruit trees.
Let your fingers do the walking.
What if all your choices were taken away? One choice is no choice. Today, many gas stations are saying no to your choices. Well, they're saying no. Chevron says yes. Yes to self-serve prices. Yes to cash discounts. And that means yes to double savings. Chevron says yes to our credit card, too. Chevron's got a whole station full of yeses. Yes, we have. Yes, we will. Yes, we do. Yes, we care. Chevron. Others say no. Chevron says yes.
The Gator ball in Jacksonville, Florida. Al Michaels with Frank Broyles. Tim Brandt working the sideline. And as we start the second quarter, Iowa has the ball. 2nd down and 7 from the 27-yard line Florida on top by a score of 7-0. Long, under pressure, escapes one man, then throws into a lot of traffic, and it's incomplete, and they throw a flag, intending that Ronnie Harmon got hit by Randy Clark before the ball got there. Very close call, and it should be a very interesting replay.
Once again, Long had plenty of time. There was no rush to force him to throw. We can see that play again. We can, from the end zone, remember that the defensive man must give the receiver time to catch the ball before he can make contact. Very close, as Al said. It'd be called either way.
Well, I agree with the official. After looking at it a second time, you hear the booing. They have the replay board here. Of course, the Gator backers don't like it, but it's a first down out at the 42-yard line. Owen Gill is in the game, number 33. He lines up with Granger. The fake is to Granger. Long gets good protection, and again throws a screen pass of sorts to Owen Gill for a minimal gain. I say of sorts, there was a lot of his own traffic right there. Greg Cleveland was able to break through, and there were the numbers through one, Frank.
Well, you can see that Florida had the advantage in the first quarter. Their rushing was really outstanding, very little passing. Iowa was very conservative, just too conservative, I think, and Hayden will make a change on that. Only 52 yards, one turnover. Florida getting the touchdown, moving the length of the field and putting it in the end zone.
No gain on the last play. It is second down 10. Hawkeyes at their own 42-yard line. And for the second time, they'll work from the shotgun. Long, sending just about everybody into the panic. What a good job by the secondary. And then his man is open, but Harmon, I think, took his eye off the ball. He was open by so much as he'd come back to help Long out. He thought he had a lot of room, and he did, and never looked the ball into his hand.
On the left of your screen, John Roth, number 78, is all conference in the Big Ten. You can see that the line is just holding out the Florida rushers. Long has plenty of time and finally gets the ball off, and it should have been caught by Harmon, number 31, right in his hands.
Were you saying holding out euphemistically or in a penalty sense?
The new rule is just impossible to administer. The offensive linemen can use their hands, and the tendency is to grab a little of that jersey.
Third down and 10 from the 42-yard line. And for a change, we have a penalty marker.
Al, that's the 8th penalty against Florida in the first, 22 minutes of the ball game.
Less than that. First
17 minutes. I'm sorry, first 17 minutes.
8 penalties, 67 yards against the Gators in penalties, and yet they lead 7-0.
Got encroachment with contact, defense, third down.
The seniors for Iowa, we talked about the fellas up front, and there are the 5 interior linemen. They are all gone, and so are Phillips and Granger and Moritz and Hubbard. Only Long and Harmon amongst the starters. The quarterback and the wingback will be back.
And Harmon will move back to tailback. He wants to play running back, and Hayden's going to give him that chance next year.
Little shovel pass going to number 33, Owen Gill, who takes the ball to the 33-yard line.
Lee Grosscup would love to see this. He made this play famous. At Utah, the shovel pass, meaning the quarterback is just going to pitch the ball forward, kind of a fake pass and run type of play. Owen Gill has good open field ability, and he makes the first down.
Well, as John Brody once said about Grosscup, how else could a guy during the 50s average 60% without the shovel pass?
Well, it can be completed a high percentage of the time. But it's a good play, an excellent call by Hayden Fry.
The play works here for a first down.
And here comes the blitz.
From the 34-yard line. Long. Again, good protection by that line, and then it's incomplete.
What we're seeing by the Florida defense, they fake the blitz, bluff the blitz, and then drop. Florida are dropping most of their men, double covering the receivers. Therefore, Long has plenty of time, but he can't find anybody open. When you have only 3 men rushing, you have a lot of people to double team the receivers. March, number 5, has one in front, one inside, and another one outside, and there's just no way to get the ball to him.
Second and 10. 34, the game time temperature. And a pretty brisk wind out of the north. from the shotgun again. Deep drop, tries to set up the screen, and that time, Owen Gill, though he didn't mean it, was wise in having the ball come out of his hands. He was hit by Mark Korf, who does a little quasi-Gastineau act there for a moment.
Korf is, as Al mentioned earlier, is from California. Junior college graduate. The Florida coaches said they needed some help at linebacker. They went out and convinced him to leave California and come to Florida, and he's had an outstanding year for him.
Third down and 10 from the 33-yard line. 13 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the half. Long, going over the middle and right into the hands of the linebacker, Mark Korf. So another big play for the Californian.
Give credit to Wilbur Marshall because he tackled Long in the ball of the back. Long had no idea that Marshall was that close, and I think the throw went off target because of the rush from the right of the top of your screen. Marshall, the big playmaker, number 88, keeps relentless pressure, and he hits the quarterback Long in the back, and Korf makes the second interception of the ball game.
13:05 remaining in the first half. Gators have it back. They lead the Hawkeyes 7-0 in Jacksonville.
The RCA SelectaVision Video Monitor is a high-performance television and more. It's designed to get the most from your video components. Video cassette recorders, video disc players, and even your stereo. Simply plug in for a better picture and true stereo sound. The RCA SelectaVision Video Monitor, quite simply, incredible. We'll open your eyes.
Across America, 7-Eleven gives shopping freedom to doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, and little braves. Freedom to people who would rather cast a line than wait in one. 7-Eleven's business is based on freedom. So now we're a major sponsor of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team, giving those that run, jump, dive, and ride the freedom to become the best. 7-Eleven. The dream begins with freedom.
Well, I guess you could call Mark Korf a Valley boy. Heard about the Valley girls, San Fernando Valley. That's where he's from. Coronado Hills, California to Gainesville, Florida. Been a big man tonight, defensively. Gators have it back, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Wayne Peace flushed out of the pocket, throws down the sideline and in and out of the hands of his intended receiver.
Wayne Peace is big and strong, 6'2", 215, and even though Iowa had men rushing and putting pressure on him, Peace was just strong enough to get away from the rush. Right there, you see Wankin and also Hufford chasing him out of the pocket. Peace gets it away incomplete. Boyd's the loss.
Anderson was the man he was trying to reach, who couldn't hold on. It's 2nd down and 10 from the 26-yard line. Anderson goes nowhere. I'm curious to see where Peace gets drafted, Frank. There's some speculation that he might want to stay at home and maybe sign with the USFL club in either Tampa or here in Jacksonville. Jacksonville enters the USFL this year with a team to be known as the Bulls, as Mike Hooks is the injured player, or where he will go in the NFL draft. He normally throws short. Some speculation as to how good he would be throwing deep. And we're curious to find out. We'll also talk about that and get Frank's opinion when we come back. A timeout here at 7-0 Florida.
To some, the breakup of AT&T is a shattering event. But Merrill Lynch know-how can make it your lucky break. Our top-ranked research team studied AT&T from top to bottom. We can help you make the right move. Manage 8 stocks, keep some, sell some, or move into our special AT&T stock fund. Now that opportunity is knocking, take advantage of a real break. Call Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
Suave Bola is more than wine. Who should know better than Franco Bola?
There's more from Sir There's more, so much more. There's more than wine in a bottle of Bola.
people happy. Suave Bola, crisp, dry, and something more.
There's more than wine in a bottle of Bola.
It was just another place in the world until the Clown Princess of Basketball bounced in with their famous antics. Your family won't want to miss the Harlem Globetrotters in Hong Kong. Plus, weightlifters compete to see who's the pound-for-pound best. ABC's Wide World of Sports, January 7th.
Mike Hooks assisted off the field, the outside linebacker, number 91, a junior from Omaha, Nebraska. So Dan Boddicker will come in to spell him. And Frank, we were talking about Wayne Peace and his prospects as a pro. What do you think?
Well, he has the arm, he has the strength, but it's my opinion that the pros do not draft very high anything but the super quarterbacks. They don't expect the quarterback to come in and help them immediately, and they draft them a little bit later, bring them along 3 or 4 years. Probably the second, third round.
3rd down and 10 for Florida from the 26-yard line. Peace throwing and finds Dixon at the 39-yard line for a first down. Dwayne Dixon, not that fast, but runs his routes well and has fine hands, a senior from Alachua, Florida.
Dixon has caught 47 passes this year, 124 for his career, all Southeastern Conference. Here's a good reason why. He concentrates on the ball, he cradles it in, falls, but protects it and holds it for the completion.
1st and 10, Gators from the 39-yard line. They lead 7-0. John L. Williams out to the 47-yard line.
From the low angle, we'll watch this Bromley snap the ball with his left hand. As a coach, I just don't believe you can teach that. We think, Al, it takes maybe spring training in the fall before you can snap that ball with 0 deviation, so it's just automatic. Perfect example of a young man who just wanted to do it, didn't want to sit on the bench, and he got it done.
Only took him a couple of days to learn how to do it early on in the season, getting hurt just before the SC game. On 2nd down and 2, the pass is hurried and incomplete. Walter Odom, tight end, the intended receiver. And so it'll be 3rd down and 2 upcoming. And a reminder that next weekend, next Saturday, in fact, ABC's Wide World of Sports returns 23rd year. And it begins with the Harlem Globetrotters who go to the Far East, Hong Kong. Jack Whitaker and Lynn Swan there to cover that. And the World Cup Weightlifting Championships from Tokyo, Japan, opening up Wide World for 84. Anderson gets bumped and then fights his way back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. And it will be 4th down and 2. So 4th and 2, and let's check in with Tim Brand. Tim?
Mike Hooks, the junior defensive end for Iowa, is out. He will not return the rest of the ball game. He hurt the inside of his knee. They're now checking to see if it is a cartilage or ligament damage. They have it taped. They are trying to put ice on it. It is on. The doctors are talking with him. You can see he's in a lot of pain. He's out for the game.
All right, Tim. Florida with the punt by Criswell that will wind up being down at the 2-yard line.
I know that Hayden would like to get his safety man up and catch that ball.
That was Dave Nardosi who did the punting. He is their short punter. They have 2 place kickers, 2 punters. He's their short punter. And what a job he does. A 51-yard kick with 10:59 remaining in the first half.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
In a high-performance fighter, we go from the griddle to more than 20 degrees below in just seconds. Well, here's an all-weather fighter for your car. The new Delco Freedom Dura Power Battery. Hot or cold, it's got the starting power you can depend on. With a Freedom battery, you never need to add a drop of water.
Get a Delco Freedom battery starting at $39.95 for a 40 series. Call 800-AC-DELCO.
Tired of those high fuel prices? Well, guess what? They're not getting any lower. Fight back with the Attic Blanket from Owens Corning. It's the most powerful roll of thermal protection you can buy. Before fuel bills put you in the red, get the Attic Blanket and put your house in the pink. Owens Corning, building products that put your house in the pink.
Saturday, Culture Club and Barry Manilow celebrate Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve.
The little man there, number 6, is Dave Nardoni. We were talking to him yesterday. He said, hey, do me a favor. When Mom and Dad are watching up in Boston, say hi. I said, Dave, if we do that for you, we have to do that for 115 guys. He said, what if I put one inside the 2-yard line? I said, I'll say hi. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad, from Dave. He just did it. Inside the 2.
Dave was trained by the fabled Doc Story, the man that trains kickers for many, many schools.
He transferred to Gainesville from Maine. So first down as Iowa gets pinned deep, and they try to look for some breathing room, and Granger gets pushed back into the end zone, but his forward progress was out to the 1-yard line. Leon Pennington was the man who stopped him.
From behind the end zone, let's look and see the blocking and see the defense. The defense, you can see of Florida, get some penetration, and Granger has nowhere to go. You can see that the orange shirts are all just ganging up, and on that part of the field, you're very limited in your offense.
Meanwhile, that is a not very promising sight for the Gators as they look at Wayne Peace's knee. Iowa from the 1 on 2nd and 10, looking for some breathing room, and they do get it as the ball carrier Owen Gill takes it out to about the 7-yard line. They work on Wayne Peace's knee. Peace also underwent a form of back surgery, which was very interesting and which we will detail for you at halftime tonight. The fact that Peace was actually on an operating table on the 1st of July and did not miss a game this season. We'll detail it during our Fire His Fun flashback at the half. 9:45 remaining in the first half. And on 3rd down and 4, this is Gill again. The ball pops loose but goes out of bounds.
Lucky break for Iowa. It's still their ball since they will last in possession.
Not only their ball, but a first down as well.
Big critical first down. Let's watch it from the end zone again. Gill, number 33, big and strong, should protect that ball. Let's see what happens. Got it on the right arm. Good headgear right into it as Alonzo Johnson put his headgear in the ball and it popped out. So when it goes out of bounds, before the opponents can get possession, you retain the ball ownership. This is Peace, the fine linebacker from...
no, that's Peace. That's Wayne Peace.
Oh, Wayne Peace, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're putting some ice on it to try to stop the swelling.
We'll try to get a report. Meanwhile, another timeout has been taken by Iowa. As they are having trouble shuttling plays in and out and really getting their offense started.
Now we are looking at a knee brace that has become very popular in college today and in pro. Many players wear it in practice. Quarterbacks and runners do not wear it in the ball game, but evidently they feel it would help him right now and give him some stability by wearing that knee brace.
As Iowa takes a timeout, it's been a very stuttering performance tonight thus far for Iowa. There's head coach Hayden Fry along with Chuck Long in a very un-Iowa-like performance, a team that came into the game averaging 487 yards per contest.
One thing that I think that is very obvious, one, the secondary for Florida had been all over the receivers. Long has had nowhere to go with the ball, even though he's had plenty of time. 4 out of 11 for 46 yards, way below his usual standards.
They've been stymied by some penalties, as has Florida, of course, and also having trouble shuttling the plays, getting off the plays, clicking on a drive. And right now they have just spent their second timeout. 9:36 remaining in the first half, and it's 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line. Donnie Whiting, meanwhile, begins to loosen up on the Florida bench as Owen Gill takes it out to the 25, and we're going to get a report now on Wayne Peace from Tim Brandt.
Al, they've been working on his left knee. They just put a brace on it. The doctor said he's never had a knee problem before, but he got it caught and he twisted it. They think he's going to be okay. They also worked on his shoulder a little bit, his left shoulder. But he's up, he's around, he's walking on, he's going to be back in the ball game.
Meanwhile, Long goes back to pass, and down he goes at the 20-yard line. Greg Cleveland, number 64, who's had a good half, gets the sack.
It's very unusual for a defensive lineman to move from offense to defense. Usually the linemen get a little big and move to offense, but Cleveland, who's an offensive player, moved the defense, and the coaches told me today that he's been the stabling factor in that defensive line has given them a good big playmaker there, strong and quick.
Wayne Peace is loosening up. The backup quarterback, Whiting, had also been throwing. Third down, 9 with the ball at the 20-yard line for the Hawkeyes. Long. He has time again, and this time he's able to hit his man at the 35-yard line. That's Mike Hufford, the tight end. Running it down and out, a senior out of Mount Vernon, Iowa, who caught 13 passes this season, and whose brother plays on defense and is a fine defensive lineman.
When you give a quarterback that much time, you spread your defensive backs so thin that there's some room for the receivers to get open. That was a perfect example. Hufford just worked his way across, found an open spot, was uncovered, and Long spotted him and got it to him.
His brother Paul, not only a good defensive lineman, he was all Big Ten this season. First down at the 35-yard line. Gill to the 40, 45, and he gets into Florida territory. 16-yard pickup. He is stopped by the linebacker, Fred McAllister, and the safety, Tony Lilly. Owen Gill from Brooklyn, New York.
When the defensive line overreact to a play, it's easy for the back to go out the backside, out the back door. McKeever misses the tackle on Gill. Gill's big and strong, 225, and breaks down for the first down.
Phillips and Gill, a tailback tandem.
That's impressive.
14-55.
An 18-touchdown rushing.
Also a good way to keep the fresh man in the game all the time, as Fry utilizes them well. From the 49-yard line, Long, pump fake, going deep, has Harmon out in front, passes go underthrown, and at the 8-yard line it is caught somehow.
Lilly goes up as the safety man and misses the ball. Vince Lombardi told me, Al, many years ago, he often thought about the quarterback throwing behind the receiver on deep passes because the receiver has the advantage. He's playing the ball, and you can see Harmon come back. He jumps and catches the ball. Lilly, number 18, the all-conference safety man. Somehow he misses it, and it's a big reception and an opportunity for Iowa.
Harmon's been their big play man, 42-yard pickup, and as you can see, averaging 22 yards a reception this season. Moritz is the prime receiver, but he runs the shorter routes, and Harmon is the big play man. He just made one here, and it's first and goal with the ball at the 8-yard line. 7:11 to go in the half. The Hawkeyes trailing 7-0, and whistles sound before they get the playoff, and it could be delay again as the clock is down to 0. It is.
Al, the Iowa bench are just not functioning as they have all season long. The plays are somehow the substitute is just not getting the play in time for the quarterback to call it and get up the line of scrimmage. As Hayden Fry, sure, he recognizes this, and he's going to get his people to speed up their strategy and get it in plenty of time. Here are the penalties, 3 for Iowa and 8 for Florida.
Not only that, but they've used 2 of their 3 timeouts because of the confusion on the sidelines, and so it is first down and goal, this time from the 13-yard line, as Long drops back to pass and throws to the left corner of the end zone, and is knocked away by Bruce Vaughn. Dave Moritz, the intended receiver.
When you get this part of the field, you usually catch one-on-one, man for man. Moritz is going to fake inside, but Vaughn, number 46, a senior, been there a long time, comes in front and deflects the ball out of the reach of Moritz, the receiver. The penalty really hurt Iowa because they had 1st and 8. That's pretty good position, but now they've got 1st and 13, now 2nd and 13, have to put it in the end zone. No first down before they can get there.
Chuck Long is 6 out of 14 for 104 yards. 2nd and goal.
Blitz.
Backside blitz. 2 men coming after him, and Moritz can't hold on. He was at the 2-yard line. Nearly had it, but couldn't hold it. So it's 3rd down. He was covered on the play by Vito McKeever.
Moritz is really the most polished receiver that Iowa's had in a long, long time. 50 receptions, good hands. Let's see what happened. The ball hits him right in the chest, low outside pitch, safe throw from long, but Moritz could not hold it. Now it's 3rd and 13.
6 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. First half, Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Florida leading Iowa 7-0.
The one thing Long wants to think about, if the receivers are covered, don't take the loss and don't throw for an interception.
The time clock is down to 1 second as they get the playoff. Long improvising, throwing to the 10-yard line, and it's complete there. But that's a gain of only 3 as Ronnie Harmon came back to take the pass. So they had 1st and goal at the 8, had a penalty, and now they have 4th and goal, and they're back at the 11-yard line.
The best pass defense is a good solid rush. From behind the defense, you see the Florida Gators chasing Long, and Long just throws the ball. It's really an unusual pass. He probably should have thrown it out of bounds, but he got away with it, and now they're in field goal range.
Ball will be spotted at the 17-yard line. Tom Nickel with the backup quarterback Tom Grogan holding. So Nickel 44 out of 47 in extra point attempts, and this is barely more than an extra point. He's 12 out of 18 in field goal attempts. And again, you're going to have the march off against Iowa. It's going to cost them 5 more.
Boy, Hayden is really upset.
Can't blame him.
Delay, 25-second count, offense, 4th down.
3 delay penalties and 2 timeouts that they've had to call because of confusion. So that's 5 times they've not been ready.
Different leagues, we have neutral officials in the ball games and all bowl games, Al, and the officials start the 25-second clock in different ways.
Now this is a 32-yard attempt. It is long enough, and it is also accurate enough. So Nickel, despite all the problems, Marshall didn't think it went through, but to no avail is his argument. It's Florida 7, Iowa 3 with 5:45 to go in the half.
It's Chevy's big USA 1 year-end sales drive. Chevy dealers are out to sell 250,000 cars and trucks by year's end. And with so many to sell, it's dealing time. But hurry, it all ends January 4th. And to make it easy to buy now, here's a first-time offer from Chevrolet. Take retail delivery now and make no monthly payments until March 1st with GMAC financing. When you buy a new Chevette or Citation 2, or any new Blazer, pickup, Suburban, or El Camino. Hurry, see your Chevy dealers now.
When I first bought this ranch, I could work it with 1 horse. The place has grown a little since then. And along the way, I learned something. If you sell a man good steers at a fair price, you're going to do okay. The people that make Meister Brau beer must have gone to the same school I did. They got a beer here that tastes just as good as Budweiser. And they sure do. It just doesn't cost as much. It sure don't. I got a hunch. Those boys are going to do okay, too.
Introducing Meister Brau. Tastes as good as Budweiser at a better price.
The sweetest bowl of the year. Number 3 ranked Auburn tries to stir things up with Michigan in the Sugar Bowl. January 2nd on ABC.
Lorenzo Hampton is the middle man of 3 who dropped back to receive this kick for the Florida Gators. Tom Nickel will be kicking off for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He has just given them their 3 points. And now Relk will do the kicking off. Number 66, the offensive lineman. Straight ahead kicker, and he really booms it. And it's into the end zone for a touchback.
Al, he has a pretty good wind to his back. Looks like it's about 10 to 12 miles an hour. Going from our left to our right.
Which basically means coming out of a northerly direction. So it's 34, and it was a game time. And with the wind, it's very odd to sit here in Florida as you look at the native suns. The starters from Florida, 21, Iowa was just 7. But it's rather odd to turn on the television set in Florida and have people talk about wind chill factors of 0. Wayne Peace from the 20-yard line on 1st and 10. Starts this drive by giving the ball to his fullback. And it's Williams carrying to the 27.
Al, going back to that graphic that we just saw, coaches know there are X number of football players for X number of people in a state, and Iowa is sparsely populated. They don't have as many players. They have to go out to recruit. Florida has close to 10 million people. They have spring training, playoffs, an all-star game. and they have a very emphasized high school program and a lot of good players here.
Joe Henderson is the fullback now for Florida, number 39. And this is Lorenzo Hampton getting the first down and carrying the ball out to the 35-yard line, where Dan Boddicker, number 99, makes the tackle. Now, if the name Boddicker sounds familiar and you tie it in with Iowa, you're right. He is related to Mike Boddicker of the Baltimore Orioles. He is, I believe, a third cousin, a distant cousin of the great Oriole rookie right-hander.
Here's Larry Station, number 36, the all Big Ten linebacker. He just gets blocked beautifully by Henderson, the fullback, knocks him right out of the play, opening up the hole.
From the 34-yard line, Wayne Peace goes incomplete for Joe Henderson, and that was incomplete thanks to Keith Hunter, number 14, who popped him.
Wayne Peace really specializes in these short, quick passes. 3-step, let the receiver have it and run with it after he makes the catch. Well, I could use that right now.
Yeah. That's a good idea to start selling to the fans. Bring in one of those. Get him quite a concession. Second down and 10 from the 35-yard line. And this is Henderson, who's the backup fullback, who takes it out to the 46-yard line. So Henderson, who is spelling John Williams, picks up the first down. We've been talking about Iowa, their problems offensively getting the plays off. Let's find out what's going on. Check in with Tim Brandt. Tim?
Al, I just had a little meeting down here, and you mentioned Hayden Fry, said he is. He thinks his plays are getting in plenty of time. He thinks that they are starting the clock a little bit early, and they're taking it down.
That was what I expected. This referee seems to be starting the clock about 3 or 4 seconds before the defense and the offense get in pretty good position.
First down from the 46-yard line, and that's Dixon carrying the ball close to a first down to the 45-yard line of Iowa.
What a great block by Lomas Brown, the left tackle. A little quick pass, and Lomas came right out and blocked the cornerback, 270 pounds. He ran over him and annihilated the Hunter, the right halfback.
Second down and 1 with the ball at the 45-yard line. 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Almost a movement on the left side. John Williams back in now. Should have enough for a first down. He is stopped by Dan Boddicker, number 99.
Florida offensive line are really controlling the line of scrimmage. They're making it very difficult on the linebackers of Iowa to get up and get involved in the play. When you control that 12 inches that starts the offensive line, you're going to make some yards. Your backs have plenty of room to make the cut.
They're going to measure right here. I think he's got it. And it is a first down at the 44-yard line. Florida career pass reception leaders, Carlos Alvarez, Richard Trapp, and there is Dixon now, right up to the minute at 1:24. Casey and Collinsworth and Chandler. So he's got some good company right there.
And, of course, Gaffney and Nat Moore have also played at Florida. Some great receivers have played at this institution.
First down from the 44-yard line. On a deep drop and a lot of trouble, and Peace goes down at the 35, and there is one of your all-time sacks by Kevin Spitzig. He'll remember that one for a while because that's 6, 11, 15, almost 20 yards, about a 19-yard sack.
Spitzig is the linebacker. You can see him. He's going to blitz just through an open area right there. Here he comes, number 38, and he grabs Peace's right arm where Peace could not get rid of the ball. It was a screen pass. Peace was not blocked at all and made the big play.
Make it 30, second down and 30, and call it a 20-yard sack officially from the 35-yard line. Peace to Dixon, who can't hold it. So uncharacteristically, the man with good hands, maybe his hands were cold.
This is the toughest pass to throw that I know of in football. 3 steps to the left and let it fly. Dixon has to be right in between the linebacker and the cornerback. You can see it hits him right on the numbers. He took his eyes off of Al momentarily, and it falls incomplete.
So it's third down and 30 now. from the 36-yard line. 2:57 remaining in the half. Again, they call the same play, and this time he does make the catch at the 50-yard line, so they get back about 15, but they'll still have to kick.
Al, we mentioned earlier that Florida repeats their plays more than any football team I've seen this year. In one game, they repeated the same pass pattern 4 consecutive times and hit it all 4 times.
So again, it's the short punter this time, Dave Nardoni, who put one inside the 2 the last time. And this time the kick is fielded at the 14-yard line by Harmon. Harmon trying to escape, comes back the other way and through the middle, tries to break out into the clear, and gets it out to the 33-yard line. Good run back by Ronnie Harmon, the speedy wingback, as he takes it out to the 33, and we have yet another flag, and I think we've got another clip.
This will back Iowa up all the way to the 6-yard line.
Robert Smith was the man, I believe, who was the guilty party. The man who clipped, and they will move it all the way back to the 6. Here's the call.
During the return, flipping here, half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the clip was at the 12, and the ball is at the 6. And Iowa has it with 1 timeout remaining, 2:14 to go in the half. Florida 7. Iowa 3 in the Gator Bowl.
One computer company has been shaping the way business does business for 99 years, NCR. Today, NCR high technology puts computer power where business needs it most. From the powerful NCR personal computer, Decision Mate 5, to the awesome power of the 9300, the world's first full 32-bit VLSI mainframe for business. NCR, shaping the way business does business.
Introducing one of the most amazing VCRs ever, the Sharp VC388. Open sesame. Observe the detachable remote. No wires. Now, watch closely. With Sharp's double azimuth 4-head technology, you get picture-perfect special effects. The Sharp VCR with stereo, every feature you can wish for. Now you see them, now you don't. From Sharp Minds come Sharp products.
At the Gator Bowl, Al Michaels, Frank Broyles, and Tim Brandt with you on a cold evening. Florida 7, Iowa 3. And Iowa has the ball at its own 6-yard line, 1st and 10. They have 1 timeout remaining. 2:14 left in the half. Chuck Long gives the ball to Eddie Phillips, and he is bumped back. Alonzo Johnson popped him.
Johnson came inside the block of the tight end, got penetration, and made the play in the backfield. This is the part of the field that your defense wants to penetrate. They want to get in the backfield, try to make something happen, maybe cause a fumble and get an easy score as we look at the clock winding down. Iowa is in real trouble right here.
Whatever Hayden Fry had to say to the officials were, at that time, James Garvey, the referee, took a little more time before he signaled the ball ready for play, and as a consequence, they go up to the line of scrimmage here with 8, 7, and now 6, and get the play off in plenty of time. And looking for room is Granger as he moves through the middle, and he gets out to the 10-yard line. And now Florida, let's see. I thought for a moment Florida was going to take a timeout.
Well, they should take a timeout, try to force a kick.
Yep. Which, well, it's somewhat of a gamble in the sense that it's only 3rd down and Iowa could still pick up the 1st down. But they have elected to do that to stop the clock with 1:25 minutes remaining in the 1st half. So Chuck Long, who's not had the best of halves, but still a good season for him. He was the 2nd most efficient passer in the country, second only to Brigham Young's Steve Young, and I talked to him yesterday about the reasons for that efficiency this season.
Well, I think the biggest part is that we had a great returning offense this year. We have a great offensive line, and they gave me great protection all year long. And like I said before, we have the quality receivers that they'll go up anywhere in a crowd and catch the ball. And I think going in each game, that builds your confidence a lot, and that makes you complete a lot of passes.
Al, I would just add that this is the first time I've seen a senior offensive line across the board, tight end, all 5 linemen, and they've been together a long time, and they give him good protection, and he believes in it. Therefore, he is disciplined and patient in choosing his receivers.
3rd down and 7. Iowa has converted 4 of 8 times on 3rd down plays here. Long, scrambling, nothing cooking. Stopped at the 9. So they'll have to punt. And let's see if Florida wants to take its timeout on defense again, and they do.
Yes, they should take timeout. This gives them a chance. They still have 1 timeout left with 1:15 to play. Long was going to roll out and try to hit Harmon on a quick pass, but Florida had him covered, and all he could do was try to scramble back and make some yards. It was nothing there. Good defensive play by Florida.
Tim Newton, number 56, was the man.
He's quite a story himself. He came to Florida as a freshman, 210-pound linebacker. At the end of the year, Al, he weighed 300 pounds, and that speaks well for their training room, but he had to lose some weight to get back into playing condition. Now he's 275.
So 4th down, a punting situation upcoming, 1:15 remaining in the half. Florida, though, has used all of its timeouts. They have none remaining. And we can remind you that coming up on the 2nd, which is Monday night, January 2nd, the Sugar Bowl, Frank will be there. And New Orleans, Michigan against Auburn, and who do you like at that?
It's going to be a great game. Auburn has the premier running back in the South in Bo Jackson, surely to be a Heisman Trophy candidate next year and the following year also. Just a great player.
Nichols drops the snap, and Florida recovers for the touchdown. So Hayden Fry has just lived through the ultimate nightmare as Doug Drew, a backup linebacker and special teams player, scores the touchdown.
When the kicker's behind the goal line, and in this position, all he wants to do is be sure he catches the ball. The ball goes right through his hands. It was high. You have to concentrate on it. He didn't do it, and the ball fell. He should have then tried to fall on it and just give the Florida team a safety, but instead it was a touchdown.
So the extra point attempt right now for Raymond. That comes with 1:08 remaining in the first half, and Raymond's kick is good. So a 7-3 game all of a sudden becomes 14-3.
Let's go back and look at the critical mistake by the Iowa football team. Nickel, number 3, lets the ball go right through his hands. Now he should fall on it. Don't look up, fall on the ball, but he tries to pick it up. Another Iowa player tries to pick it up, and then Drew 48 falls on it. It's an automatic touchdown. Let's watch it again. Watch how high the snap is. Kicker must concentrate and isolate on that ball and catch it before he starts trying to kick it. Tough break for Iowa. Good break for Florida.
14-3.
The desolate Hayden Fry.
Well, his team has only played one bad game this season. That was against Illinois when they were blown away 33-0. Their only other loss to Michigan on a last play field goal. You were there that day, Frank. 16-13. They won their other 9. You might have a couple of things to say at halftime as they're down by 11. Kickoff by Perkins is taken by Granger. And Granger with a decent run back as he takes it out to the 39-yard line. 1:02 remaining in the half, and Iowa has 1 timeout remaining if they elect to use it.
Al, we should go back and remember the penalty, the clip, backed Iowa up. Harmon had made a fine run out to the 30-yard line. The penalty put him back on the 6. It was a 25-yard penalty. The mistake by the kicker resulting in a touchdown. Penalties, fumbles, turnovers drive coaches crazy. You try to eliminate them, you can't. You don't know when they're going to happen. They happen at the wrong time for Iowa.
First down from the 38-yard line. Long, throwing, intended for Moritz, and incomplete with 56 seconds now remaining in the half.
The Florida linebackers are dropping very deep, more so than usual, because the Iowa team likes to throw in the deep middle, and the linebackers are getting in the line of fire, and Long is throwing the ball in there under pressure, and seems like that one could have been intercepted.
Not very impressive figures for Long here in the first half. 7 out of 17 for 106 on second down and 10. Look out from the backside. He gets it away, and it's complete to Eddie Phillips, number 22, who's taken out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Coming up at halftime, we told you about the Wayne Peace surgery, and we will have a feature on that. Also, of course, halftime highlights, and the Peace surgery story will be in our Fireman's Fun flashback, and a look at both bands, and also a preview look at what we'll have for you on Wide World of Sports as we begin our 23rd year during the winter quarter.
Doug Drew will never forget this ball game. Touchdown in the end zone for Florida. 3rd and 1. After the fake, the throw is nearly picked off at the 50-yard line by Patrick Miller. He was so worried about the coverage, I think, that he wasn't thinking about the interception until it was too late. He was trying to cover Granger, and the next thing you knew, if he would have looked up an instant sooner, he would have had the interception. One of the tough things about linebackers intercepting pass, Al, is they're coming forward, and the ball gets to them before they realize it. Went right through his hands. He's had one interception this season.
Tom Nickel, who will no doubt keep his eye on the snap this time. Not only that, he's going to throw, and it is incomplete. It would have been a first down had it been held on to by Len Olenczak, and he couldn't hold it.
From the end zone, let's look at the trick play that Iowa was going to try. 4th and a foot. You can see that Nickel gets the ball back. He looks up immediately to the flat. Receiver was open momentarily. The ball goes right through his hands. Vaughn knocks him down, and the ball goes incomplete. Now Florida has another chance.
37 seconds remaining and no timeouts left for Florida. From the 48-yard line, they're on top 14-3. He sends 2 men to the right, does Peace. Sends 4 into the pattern, and going deep, but the pass is underthrown and picked off at the 14-yard line by Devin Mitchell. Mitchell is stopped at the 28 by B. Lang. So it's become street football here at the latter stages of the first half.
Peace should not have thrown the ball. Lang was in behind him, but the wind was coming fast and furious into the face of Peace, and he couldn't get the ball up. The ball was just wounded, wobbling past, and fell right in for the interception.
24 seconds now remaining in the first half. Mitchell picking that one off. He's a sophomore from Brooklyn. So I guess I was right when I said street football. Delay. Phillips. Out to the 39-yard line and a first down. That stops the clock momentarily before the first down. Iowa also has 1 timeout remaining.
Well, I was a little bit surprised that Peace went for the bomb, really, on first down, rather than try to get a couple of short passes completed and at least end up in position for the field goal.
17 seconds remaining, and Iowa will take a timeout here. So they're at their own 39-yard line. They use their last timeout. They hope to at least be able to get down into field goal range. But one thing about getting into field goal range here is even if you do that, you got to make sure the play ends with the guy going out of bounds, because there's no other way you can stop that clock.
I was just trying to establish something here and get a little momentum, I think, Al, before they go into the halftime and try to figure out what they want to do in the second half.
One surprising aspect, Frank, is that with the weather the way it is, you would figure it would be more conducive tonight for Iowa. Florida would not be used to playing in conditions like this, but it's been the reverse.
Well, Florida played in the rain and cold in the Peach Bowl a couple of years ago and got beat handily, and they made up their mind they were going to be ready for this ball game.
From the shotgun now, with 17 seconds to play. He looks for Morris, and it's tipped, and then it's caught by Harmon, and he is stopped at the 38. Now with 6 seconds remaining, the clock is stopped momentarily for the first down, but they will have to line up and try to get the play off. Harmon in no hurry, of course, to get up, taking as much time as he can.
Quarterback will raise up and throw the ball out of bounds real quickly, I would guess.
They'll start the clock here as soon as the official signals it is ready for play. They come up in the shotgun. Now he signals ready, so it shows 5, 4, 3, and this should be the final play of the half. After Long drops the ball, he then is in the grasp of a defender and gets sacked, and the half ends on a sack by Greg Cleveland, number 64. An ignominious ending to the first 30 minutes for Iowa. Florida capitalizing on a couple of breaks. And they lead at the half by a score of 14-3 as Fry stalks off the field.
He's going after the referee. I think he wants to talk to the referee about the way that he's starting the clock, the 25-second clock.
They've been starting it not quite as expeditiously in the past 8 or 9 minutes as they were earlier. All right, Fry leaves. Meanwhile, Pell has the lead, does Charlie, and Tim Brandt has Charlie Pell with him.
Charlie, first let me ask you what you said with the official there. You looked a little bit concerned.
Well, I was just wondering if we had a problem. That's all.
Let me ask you this. I know that you can't be happy with the penalties. 12 of them, 8 of them are yours, 67 yards. Is that because of the long layoff?
I think a lot of it is, and I think a lot of the layoff and just the intensity of the football game.
Okay, Charlie, thank you. Obviously, Charlie's very concerned about something the official did. Anyway, that's the end of the half. We'll be back with the halftime activities after this commercial message and a word from your local stations.
Now Avis has the fastest way for you to return your car and get this record of your rental charges without waiting at the counter. I'll prove it. Our new Avis Rapid Return is as easy to use as your pocket calculator. You just punch in your car number, your mileage, your gas gauge reading. In less than a minute, out comes a record of your rental charges. Try our new Avis Rapid Return. It's another Avis first. It's fast, it's easy, and it's only at Avis.
Shocks are shot, treads are thin, muffler's gone. Well, come on in. There's more for your life at Sears. Where else could you change your tires, take your aim, smooth out your ride, and catch the game? There's more for your life, for the times of your life. There's more for your life at Sears.
Tuesday, nobody's perfect. On a special Life's Most Embarrassing Moments. And premiering Tuesday, January 10th, a new weekly series of foul-ups. Leaks.
Uh-oh, there goes my...
And blunders.
Great chicken.
They'll do it till I get it right every Tuesday.
Olympic coins help support U.S. athletes in the '84 Summer Games. Turn precious metal into Olympic medals. Support the home team.
When we close this box, we've made our best. So when you open this box, you enjoy the best. Hot, fresh pizza delivered to you in 30 minutes or less. Because...
KAPP 35, Yakima.
Halftime score at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville on a cold night is Florida 14, Iowa 3. Florida coming into the game ranked 11th in the nation, and the Iowa Hawkeyes ranked 10th. So the Gators lead by 11, and the capacity crowd in Jacksonville being entertained right now by the Iowa Band, 283 members strong. Dr. Morgan Jones is the director. Wayne Peace, the Florida quarterback, is closing out his career tonight, closing out his Gator career anyway. He will play in a postseason game, the Senior Bowl in Mobile. But the story with Peace this year has been more interesting off the field than on, and he's the subject of our Fireman's Fund flashback.
Tonight's flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you.
With an outstanding 1983 regular season performance, Florida quarterback Wayne Peace finished second in career all-purpose yardage in the Southeastern Conference. For Peace to have played at all this season was nothing short of remarkable because of an injury he sustained in June.
He injured his back severely while playing basketball and noticed primarily hip and leg pain that did not respond to conservative therapy. That means bed rest and pain medication. And on examination then subsequently had the classic findings of a herniated disc. Unfortunately, having that kind of injury has in the past meant that the player would at least be out for a matter of half a year and very often would be unable to return at any time to playing football.
Dr. Friedman, Dr. Arthur Day, the team neurosurgeon, and Dr. Peter Indelicato, the team orthopedic surgeon, ruled out traditional back surgery. If Wayne were to have any chance of playing in '83, it was decided he undergo percutaneous discectomy, a new and innovative form of back surgery.
With the relatively newness of the operation, and really, I was the first athlete to have this type of surgery or about to have this type of surgery and then try to perform afterwards. So I was very, very apprehensive about it and very nervous, but I knew that without this surgery that there was no way I could play this year, and it was just something that I was willing to take a risk on.
On July 1st, Wayne Peace checked into Shands Hospital on the University of Florida campus. The Gators' opening game was only 2 months away. A team of physicians led by Dr. Friedman took only 15 minutes to perform the percutaneous discectomy.
Wayne came down to the operating room about 8:30 in the morning. He was placed under general anesthesia, positioned on his side, and then prepped and draped for surgery. The operation involves making a 1-inch incision over the hip. Using X-ray guidance, a small plastic tube is then positioned at the side of the herniated disc. Special instruments are then inserted down the plastic tube, and the disc is removed in a piecemeal fashion. The advantage of this procedure is that it's done through this small tube, and as a consequence, there is no trauma to muscle, bone, or nerve roots, as it always happens in the traditional forms of back surgery.
I was excited about it. I got out the day after the surgery, and matter of fact, that night about 11 o'clock, one of the nurses came in and she said, "Would you like to get up and walk now?" And I was scared. I said, "You know, can I walk now?" And she said, "Yeah, come on, we'll go take a walk." And it was very slow, but I was up and walking and moving around, and from that point on, I knew that I would have the chance to play.
After 2 weeks of rest, Wayne began an arduous 1-month rehabilitation process, stressing running and back exercises. 6 weeks after having undergone percutaneous discectomy, Wayne practiced for the upcoming season, a season in which he led Florida to tonight's Gator Bowl.
And maybe it was lucky that it happened to a person such as myself, a quarterback for a national caliber team, but people throughout the country could see how important this type of surgery is and how good it is. I've had many people call me in my home in Lakeland and want to know about the surgery, if their son could have it, if they could have it. And I think it's made many people aware of the new types of surgery that are possible and made people less scared to try it.
The more complex the business, the greater the risks. At Fireman's Fund, we make it our business to understand those risks from the inside, from your perspective, and from the broad perspective as well, which may be the reason why so many businesses today, big and small, find the protection they need under the fire hat. Fireman's Fund Insurance. See your independent agent or broker in the yellow pages under Fireman's Fund.
Sunday. Go behind the camera with Pryor and Reeves for the making of Superman 3.
You did a fine job.
And
you're going to college. I'm going to college.
Mark tackles college football to catch a killer on the field. Hardcastle and McCormick. Then Peter Falk and 2 women wrestlers are on their way to the top.
I am not a lousy mechanic.
The network premiere of California Doll.
What a night.
Sunday, all starting at 7, 6 Central and Mountain.
Iowa Band is performing at halftime at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. The halftime score, Florida 14, Iowa 3. by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you taking charge. And we'll return to the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, after this ABC News Brief.
An ABC News Brief brought to you by Sheer Elegance by Legs. Now from Washington, Max Robinson.
Good evening. Reports from Lebanon tonight say Italy will soon cut in half the number of its peacekeeping troops in Beirut. The Pentagon appears to be backing off President Reagan's assurance that officers would not be punished for the bombing of Marine headquarters in Beirut. Some in the chain of command may now be reprimanded. And in Congress, there's a new move afoot among Democrats and Republicans to shorten the Marine stay in Lebanon. Meanwhile, Jesse Jackson has arrived in Damascus and tomorrow is expected to meet Syrian President Assad and the captured American flyer, Lieutenant Robert Goodman. Tonight on Nightline, George Orwell's 1984. Now this.
Now there's a pantyhose with a look and feel of silk from the Orient. Sheer Elegance pantyhose by Legs. Silky enough to charm the samurai.
El Salvador today introduced press censorship for the first time in that country's 4-year-old civil war. That's News Brief. More news later on this ABC station.
Bubba, being cops is going to be real different than the NFL.
Yeah, no more busting heads.
Move and you're a dead man. Yeah, at least it's a chance to show that we're really gentlemen.
Spread up, turkey!
You and I are finally on the same team.
What are you doing? Yeah, the good life at last.
Roll with Bubba Smith and Dick Butkus in the premiere of Blue Thunder in 1 week at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Halftime at the Gator Bowl, where Florida leads Iowa by a score of 14-3, and the capacity crowd being entertained right now by the University of Florida Gator Band under the direction of Jeff Welch, and featuring tonight music from the movie Shaft. We want to take this opportunity to wish you a Happy New Year, and of course those of us at ABC Sports eagerly anticipating 1984 will be in Sarajevo for coverage of the Winter Olympics in February, and of course in Los Angeles beginning in late July for coverage of the Summer Olympic Games, and also will begin our 23rd year of ABC's Wide World of Sports. And here are some of the things you'll see on Wide World during the first quarter of '84.
In 1984, ABC's Wide World of Sports salutes the golden dreams of athletes around the globe. Athletes with dreams of Winter Olympic gold, like world champion Rosalind Sumner and former world champion Elaine Zayak. Rosalind holds the U.S. crown, but Elaine wants it back. You'll see them go head-to-head in the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, live. You'll also see world champion Scott Hamilton defending his U.S. title in the men's competition. Tamara McKinney has her eye on Olympic gold, the first American woman skier to win the overall World Cup. We'll see her attacking the slopes in Megève, France. Last year's men's World Cup champion American Phil Mayer has a tough road ahead for Sarajevo. This is the famous Honenkamm run at Kitzbühel, the most treacherous downhill course in the world. We'll see Mayer there with other Olympic hopefuls as we cover their runs from top to bottom. Ski jumpers will also be fine-tuning their efforts here in Bischofshofen, Austria, leaping towards Olympic golds in World Cup ski jumping, part of the famous Springer tourney. ABC's Wide World of Sports also salutes the dreams of summer Olympians. This winter, you'll see the new women's world all-around champion, Soviet Natalia Yurchenko, competing for an individual world title in gymnastics, along with American Olympic hopeful Julianne McNamara and others. Members of the U.S. boxing team will test their stuff against the world's first-ranked team, Cuba. The world's strongest men in the super heavyweight competition at the World Weightlifting Championships. We'll share the dreams of past Olympians as they look for gold in a new professional figure skating event at Madison Square Garden. Olympic champions like Dorothy Hamill, Robin Cousins, John Curry, and more compete. All athletes have dreams. We'll document their attempts to fulfill them in 1984. These daredevils dream of surviving the treacherous Presta run in glamorous St. Moritz, Switzerland. Nearly 1,000 men and women dream of completing the grueling Ironman Triathlon World Championship, the original and most important of its kind. The best bikers from the various forms of motorcycle racing dream of winning on the grueling combined Superbikers course they've come to fear and covet. Horses are athletes, too. We'll show you the top 3-year-olds as they eye a rosy stall at the Kentucky Derby. We'll have super professional boxing. 2 standout fights feature the WBA and WBC World Welterweight champions, Donald Curry and Milt McCrory, in all-out efforts to defend their titles. And speaking of professionals, the Pro Bowl on January 29th. And what are the dreams of children? On Saturday, January 7th, as we begin our winter season on Wide World, your whole family will enjoy the Harlem Globetrotters' latest exploits in Hong Kong, including their first trip ever to the People's Republic of China. In 1984, ABC's Wide World of Sport joins the athletes of the world in pursuit of golden dreams and golden achievements. The result, we assure you, will be pure gold.
The halftime score as we come back to the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, the 39th annual Gator Bowl, is Florida 14, Iowa 3. In the matchup featuring teams from the Southeastern Conference in the Big Ten. As far as the first half highlights were concerned, highlight number 1, this interception by Tony Lilly of Florida.
Tony Lilly is a gambler, and he takes a chance breaking in front of Moritz, the receiver, and makes the interception. Just an outstanding play, a good return, although there was a clip on the return that moved Florida back.
It sent him all the way back, but it was a long drive that was culminated when Anderson went in for the touchdown to wrap it up.
Anderson has been very impressive. He's shown good quickness, been able to adjust his running room, and he makes a fine dive across for the first touchdown.
Then after Iowa made the score 7-3 on a field goal by Nickel, here's Nickel again, who also serves as the punter, and this was the big play in the half.
Well, Nickel just took his eye off the ball. It was a high snap. He should have first caught the ball. Since he did, he should have fallen on it, which would have been a safety instead of a touchdown.
Doug Drew picks up the touchdown, so the score is 14-3. Iowa has had a very, very potent offense, obviously averaging 34 points a game, but they've had to lay off. They don't look very good offensively in the first half, so if you're Hayden Fry, what are you saying right now?
Well, you're going to have to make some changes. I think his strategy of throwing the deep intermediate routes has been ineffective. Florida defense is back there. They're going to have to go to shorter passes, catch the ball, and run with it until Florida linebackers come back up and play like they should. But Hayden has got to get his offense on track. Otherwise, his defense is going to play out there too long, be out too long, and the Florida offense will wear them down.
So the second half about ready to begin as the Gators come back out onto the field in Jacksonville. They lead 14-3.
Chevrolet is taking charge with a new high-output Camaro. A Camaro Z28 that did a test track 0 to 55 in 6 seconds. A Camaro with remarkable new handling. A Camaro with sure-footed braking. Camaro, more beauty, more beast.
Chevrolet!
And you
taking charge.
For the extra demands of physical fitness, new Spartus, the different high-potency formula to supplement your diet. Spartus, with every essential vitamin and mineral in the USRDA, and more. More of the vitamins that help convert food and body fat to energy. Spartus, with electrolytes essential for muscle action. Spartus, every essential vitamin and mineral, and more. The extra strength formula for the extra demands of physical fitness. Spartus, the official sports vitamin of the 1984 Winter Olympics.
Saturday, black market beauties.
I'm calling you a white slaver.
And Hooker wants to set them free. Then,
I'm your son.
Scott becomes an unexpected father on the Love Boat. And it's round 1 when the wrong girl falls for Rourke on Fantasy Island.
Hi, I'm Phil Olson for Clover Club. I wanted my brother Merlin to be here, too. Unfortunately, he's out delivering some flowers. Our family grew up in Utah with Clover Club, and they do make the best-tasting potato chip. I think it's because they've never gotten so big that they forgot about the quality. They still guarantee every bag. The Olsons have a family tradition in football where bigger is better. Clover Club has a family tradition of quality. For them, I think smaller is definitely better.
You don't have to go out for Domino's Pizza. When you call us, within minutes, we're custom making your pizza with only pure dairy cheese and delicious toppings. On the road, we keep your pizza hot and to your door in less than 30 minutes. And we never charge for our delivery. But if you think that's good, just wait till you taste it.
Domino's Pizza delivers. Domino's Pizza.
KAPP 35, Yakima.
I'm Tim Brandt back in the Gator Bowl with Iowa head coach Hayden Fry. And Hayden, I know you were upset in that first half. You had a couple penalties, delayed penalties, and it was the clock that was bothering you.
Well, yeah, you know, the officials are doing a good job, but what's happening, the guy running the clock is starting it on his own. He's not waiting for the official, the referee, to mark it ready for play. And hopefully they got it straight at halftime. They were apologetic, but, you know, it doesn't help us. But nevertheless, we're not playing good football. We just got to play a lot better football.
I know you want to get that offense going, and you've had problems doing it. What adjustments did you make at halftime?
Well, I can't tell you what we did at halftime. Frankly, if it works, well, then I'll say we did a good job. If it doesn't, I'll say we did.
All right, Hayden. Good luck the second half. You know, Al, earlier in the first half, or just as the first half ended, I talked to Charlie Pell about him talking to the officials. I found out what the problem is. The referee has warned Wilbur Marshall twice for unnecessary roughness, and he doesn't want to throw a flag, but he wants Wilbur to have some sportsmanlike conduct out there. And now Charlie Pell is concerned about it, and he's saying, lay off the kid, let him play some football. But there is a problem there, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Al, I agree with that. As we look at the stats, I don't think the officials should be, if they make a penalty, if they have a foul, they should be called. And don't be coaching. The referees referee, coaches coach, and players play. As we look at the stats, the first downs, Iowa was leading, but that was a little bit misleading itself.
As we start the second half, John Relk will kick off, the offensive guard, who is a straight-ahead kicker, and with the wind at his back, his last kick went into the end zone. This one will land at about the 7-yard line in the arms of Lorenzo Hampton. He's out past the 25, and it's a nice run back as he takes it to the 34, and it's the kicker, Relk, who makes the tackle. So as we start the third period, here's Iowa defensively. Hufford is the tackle, and the nose guard is Howard Peterson out of Bettendorf, Iowa, with George Little right there at 250 pounds. Mike Brooks was hurt. His spot was taken by Boddicker, and Boddicker is still in there, and there's Spitzig, who had that 20-yard sack. Larry Station's been relatively quiet from his linebacker spot tonight. First down from the 34-yard line, and they pitch it back to Neil Anderson, who picks up a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Larry Station in on the stop along with Howard Peterson. You've got Keith Hunter at one corner from Newark, New Jersey, and then from Brooklyn is Nate Creer at the other corner. Mike Stoops out of Youngstown, Ohio, is the strong safety, and another Brooklynite, Mitchell, who intercepted a pass in the first half, is the free safety. Second down and 9 from the 35-yard line. Incomplete at the 50. Intended for Wayne Dixon. As you take a look at the Florida offense, led by Peace with Anderson and Williams, and then Lang and Dixon the wideouts, and Petty the tight end. Offensive line, Brown, Hunt, Bromley, Schulteis, and Trimble. You know how you scout guys from Brooklyn, Frank? You watch them in a Ring-a-Levio game. Ever heard of Ring-a-Levio?
No. What is that?
Great street game in Brooklyn. You can play that, you can play football. Third down and 9 from the 35. And again, we're going to get a penalty marker. Movement on the right side of the line. Peace's pass is intercepted by Mitchell. That's his second of the game. And if the penalty is against Florida, then Iowa's in great shape, and it should be. It looked like Tom Petty, the tight end, number 85, was the guilty party.
Well, that's a good call. It seemed to me that way also. They would decline the penalty and take the interception.
First down.
And so the Hawkeyes get the break they need at this point, down by 11 as we start the second half. 14:04 to play in the third period, and they have the ball at the 29 of Florida.
Let's watch it again. Peace throws the ball right to Mitchell. You can see that he is right there in front of the receiver, catches the ball, runs it back for a nice interception.
Chuck Long, the quarterback, from the 29-yard line. He pitches it back to Eddie Phillips, the all-time leading ground gainer in Iowa history, and Fred McAllister lays a pop on him, number 46. Defensively, Roy Harris is number 99, 258. Tim Newton weighs in at 270, and Greg Cleveland had a good first half. Then you've got Alonzo Johnson, who sat out last year. He worked in the construction business. There's your All-American, Wilbur Marshall. Mark Korf also had a fine first half, the linebacker from California. McAllister, who made the last play from Melbourne, Florida.
One thing that Florida did not want to do was turn the ball over. They had the momentum going in at halftime, Al. They wanted to keep that ball and make a few first downs, and Peace made a mistake and threw it right to Mitchell, the safety man.
Second down and 6.
Devon Mitchell, he had 3 interceptions coming into this game, 2 tonight, makes 5 for the season.
This is Phillips behind some nice blocking, but it breaks down all of a sudden, and a couple of more flags are thrown, and we've got a face mask call coming up. Marshall and Johnson converged on him, and one of them got his hand on the face mask, and that's going to cost the Gators.
5 yards is just
incidental contact.
Incidental grasping. Let's see if we can detect who it was. Number 22, Phillips, right there is, see, I can't see that number. Number 90.
Might have been Harris.
I guess it was Johnson.
No.
99, Harris. Yes.
Major penalty, grasping the face mask, half the distance to the goal, and a first down.
Now that's interesting. Initially they said incidental contact.
Turning, twisting, or pulling is a 15-yard penalty. Incidental grasping, 5 yards.
One official probably had a better view than the other, so the ball is at the 11-yard line, and it's first down and 10.
Last time that I was here, they got a penalty and ended up with a field goal.
Phillips goes to the 8. We saw the line and linebackers for the Gators, and then the men in the backfield. Ricky Eastman has not played very much tonight. They've been going with Vaughn and Vito McKeever at the corners, and then the safeties are Randy Clark and Tony Lilly.
Iowa can make a first down on the 1-yard line and have 4 more tries at the goal line if they put it there.
Second down, 7. Pitch it to Phillips, looking for blocking. It never forms, and there's Eastman. Just mentioned that Eastman had not played much in the first half, but he comes up to make a nice play here at the beginning of the second half. Hayden Fry ready to send in the play. The offense with Long, and Phillips and Granger are the running backs, and of course we'll also see Owen Gill. Harmon and Moritz, the wide receivers, and Mike Hufford, the tight end, with Alt, Hanna, Hilgenberg, Relf, and Levelis up front. Third down, 7 from the 8. Fake to Phillips. They converge on him. Down he goes. Is number 99, Roy Harris. Got a hand on his leg, and then Tim Newton polished him off. So the Gators put him in a vice, and they'll have to settle for a field goal.
Harris, number 99, is the right defensive tackle. He's coming from behind Long. Long does not anticipate this. He grabs his leg and pulls him down for the sack.
31-yard field goal attempt upcoming for Tom Nickel, who kicked one from 32 yards in the first half. Tom Grogan, the reserve quarterback, to hold. Snap is good. Place down, and kick is good. Tom Nichols hoops it through with 11 minutes even remaining to be played in the third quarter at the Gator Bowl. It's Florida 14 and Iowa 6.
A $390 one-way drop-off charge? Nobody mentioned that.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
So sorry.
So sorry.
Please accept my apology.
Only National guarantees one-way rentals with unlimited free mileage for only $10 a day more than our regular low rates. Guaranteed. And if we don't deliver, you'll get $50 off your next rental. We give you national attention, and that's the truth.
These days, everyone's got some kind of telephone deal for you. But how can I beat a deal like the AT&T phone right here in my home? Works great, rings true, not a lick of trouble. I called AT&T's toll-free number and found out I don't have to do anything to keep old reliable right here. I can keep on leasing it or buy it. You know, you may already have your hands on the best telephone deal in town.
AT&T, we set the standards.
Well, we've got all the conference at home. It's not just Frank and me, but over in the corner, George Hill is handling the stats, and my man Kelly Hayes with his spotting board right here, making us seem like a quasi-genius from time to time. Not really. Bill Monahan and Manny Cabral down in the truck, putting up the graphics. Cast of thousands. And you take all the credit, Frank.
Oh, boy, do I. I'm so cold I couldn't take anything except for cold.
John Relk to kick off, 14-6. Florida on top by 8. Kick fielded at the 9 by Lorenzo Hampton. Not past the 20. And he takes it to the 27-yard line.
I would give Florida defense credit. When the offense turns the ball over, on this part of the field, all you can hope for the defense to do is stop and force a field goal attempt. You tell your defense to walk off the field, that's a victory for you. You did your job.
Eight-point lead for the Gators. 10 minutes and 53 seconds remaining in the third period. One thing that awaits Florida if they win is a chance to finish in the top 10 for the first time in the school's history. They come into the game ranked 11th in both wire service polls as Anderson busts loose and takes it out to the 39-yard line for a first down where he stopped by Nate Queer.
We talked about earlier that Larry Station may be the best inside linebacker in America, particularly in the Big Ten All-Conference, number 36, but he's not having a good game. He's coming across. He's supposed to be strong, good tackler, but he cannot grasp the tackle on Anderson, and Anderson breaks on in for the first down.
Injured player is the nose guard Howard Peterson, number 50, sophomore from Bettendorf, Iowa. So he gets the medical attention with 10:45 remaining in the third period. Florida 14, Iowa 6.
Air France, Concorde.
You want me to revise the cost estimate, pull in the cotton production figures, get all the projections, and send you the whole presentation to the Paris office by 5.
By Paris time.
Bon voyage.
I'm counting on you.
You're a professional. When the pressure's on, people know they can rely on you.
Eric, we have a lot to do.
That's why you rely on office automation from Digital. Digital Equipment Corporation provides office solutions for professionals.
I'll send it to Paris.
From one terminal, right on your desk, Digital makes it easy to create graphics, write reports,
It should be landing just about now.
even send electronic mail.
It's all on its way to Paris.
Bonjour, mes amis.
The world's largest computer company doesn't do that.
Le communiqué de New York.
Terrific.
But the world's second largest does.
Well, I guess we made it.
Digital Equipment Corporation. Computers for professionals from professionals.
The sweetest bowl of the year. Number 3 ranked Auburn tries to stir things up with Michigan in the Sugar Bowl. January 2nd on ABC.
10:45 remaining in the third quarter at the Gator Bowl. Florida on top 14-6. Iowa has just, at least temporarily, lost the services of the nose guard Howard Peterson. There he is. That means in the middle now you've got a freshman, number 57, John Breeze at nose guard. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Lorenzo Hampton for a gain of 5 out to the 43. He is stopped by Dan Boddicker and George Little, and it's 2nd down and 5. So George Breeze, as in freeze, as in Jacksonville in the middle.
Here are the rushing yards for Florida so far in the ball game, and look at this statistic: 25-1-1 when they've outrushed their opponents since 1980. That is really impressive.
2nd down from the 48-yard line, and he throws it out to B. Lang. And he is a yard shy of a 1st down. Keith Hunter and Mike Stoops making the tackle. B. Lang has a lot of speed. Caught 24 passes this year, averaged 13.6 per reception.
Wayne Peace, number 15, looking over to get the play. 5 out of 13, but Florida is now beginning to get some movement with a running game and a little success passing. That's what they want. Threat run, threat pass, put the pressure on the defense.
Double tight end set up here out of the power eye, and they break that now as they send Williams in motion and give Anderson the ball, and he's got the 1st down. 1st down at the 48-yard line. Wayne Peace guiding this drive. Peace always seems to come in second. He's second to Reeves in a lot of categories. He seems to be always second team all SEC. I talked to him about being a bridesmaid.
I think it's something that I just have to accept. There's nothing I can do about it. I know in my own mind that I can play with anybody. And I think with the scheme we have here at Florida, the quarterback's not going to get a lot of recognition. So it really doesn't bother me. As there's nothing I can do about it. So I just do the best I can and just go from there.
All things considered, though, it's been a great career for Peace, who has this pass batted and then caught by his own man, Dwayne Dixon.
The danger of throwing the little quick pass with the quarterback behind, right at the line of scrimmage, is a lineman can jump up and deflect the ball, which Iowa did, but Florida was Johnny on the spot and caught the ball. Let's watch it again. You see Peace is going to throw the ball very close. The lineman should be blocking low, getting the defensive lineman's hand down, but Huffer jumps up and deflects the ball, and it's finally caught by Dixon.
2nd down and 4 with the ball at the 40-yard line. And Anderson gets upended by number 57. That's Breeze. So the freshman nose guard comes in and makes his presence felt in a hurry. And let's get a word from Tim Brandt on the field.
Guard Howard Peterson, he is behind me. They are still working on his left ankle. It is the outside of the ankle. He is in pain. They don't know if he's going to come back or not. They're going to have to try to watch and see what happens. They're putting some ice on it now. He's going to get up later and try to put some pressure on it. But you mentioned they have a freshman in there now going against the All-American Phil Bromley at center.
Well, if he just saw Breeze's last play, he may get healthy in a hurry. 3rd down and 4 from the 41. And the pass over the middle is incomplete, intended for Ray McDonald, who not only dropped the ball but took a double pop. One of the men who hit him was Ron Hawley, number 19. Hawley from West Covina, California, was the man you may have read about Hawley last year. He's the guy that ran into the goalpost at East Lansing and knocked the post down. Literally knocked the goalpost down.
Well, he really made a fine tackle and collision on the receiver. Let's look at the collision again from the low angle. Hawley, number 19, is coming up at 180 degrees, right there, and sticks the helmet right into the numbers. And we have a injured Florida player.
So it's Ray McDonald, number 9, a sophomore from Belgrade, Florida. And hopefully he'll be able to get up and with some assistance make his way off the field, and that appears to be the case after taking a ringing blow from Ron Hawley, who will hit you. Sugar Bowl coming up. Michigan ranked 8th in the country, 9-2, runners up in the Big Ten against Southeast Conference champ Auburn, and Bo Jackson, a great running back.
And Michigan has the great quarterback Steve Smith, who is getting the recognition he richly deserves. Outstanding runner and passer.
Another kick by the short punter, Dave Nardoni, and this one's a pretty good one. Puts it out at the 9-yard line, pinning Iowa deep. They'll have it. 7:44 to go in the period. Florida leads by 8.
Our
crushed a lot of quarterbacks in my day, and I'm real sorry. So I wrote this letter. Dear quarterbacks, I apologize for the way I've treated you. Please let me buy you a light beer from Miller. Light's my beer because it tastes great. I'm sure it's yours, too, because you little guys can't afford to get filled up. Hope to see you soon. Sincerely, L.C. Greenwood.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
Chevy Top taking charge.
S10 Blazer.
Earth.
Keep moving.
Wind.
Keep storming. S10 Blazer.
Fire.
Keep blazing. S10 Blazer.
Water.
Keep churning.
In all of nature, there's nothing like the thrill of an S10 Blazer. And now, take delivery of any new Blazer and make no monthly payments till March 1st.
Tuesday, nobody's perfect. A special life's most embarrassing moments.
We noticed that our Hawkeyes have only played one game on grass versus Penn State. They won, but it is a difference, and it may be some factor in our poor performance so far.
Chuck Long is telling the referee he cannot hear the signals. And so they will regroup in the huddle as Iowa begins this drive from the 9-yard line. 7 minutes and 44 seconds remaining, third period. Florida leading by a score of 14-6.
Field position for Iowa has been terrible since the first quarter. They have been starting with approximately 80 yards away on all possessions but one. That was after the interception. Not much scoring opportunity when you're 80 yards from the goal line.
From the 9 on first down. This is Gill, and Owen Gill, a junior, carries out to the 17-yard line, where Alonzo Johnson makes the stop. Owen Gill will be back next year. He's the man who's been alternating with Eddie Phillips at tailback. Phillips is the starter. They'll lose, as we mentioned before, 9 starters, all but Harmon and the quarterback Long, and then it figures that Gill would take over at tailback on a regular basis next year. Second down and 2. This is Gill again, and he takes it out to the 23-yard line. So an impressive start to this long drive, or what Iowa hopes is a long drive, on 2 runs by Gill.
When you start on your own 10, the best strategy, if you have some power and muscle, is to run right at the defense, and Iowa was successful. Gill, big and strong, running right behind that senior offensive line as we look at Hayden Fry trying to get his offense on track. Even though they've been backed up so far, he cannot really use his complete offense. It's limited what he can do on this part of the field.
Tim Newton is the injured Gator. He is the nose guard. Of course, Iowa has already lost, at least temporarily, its starting nose guard. And there is Newton, junior from Orlando, Florida. His teammate, of course, Wilbur Marshall, the All-America, who plays on the outside, has a reputation of being an intimidator, fierce competitor. And we talked to him about it.
Well, I guess everybody has their own opinions. I just think it's just a little hyper in my part. I love to play the game, and I'm going to do the best I can. And when I go out there, I just want to show everybody that I can play just the ball game to the best of my ability.
Wilbur Marshall talking about his reputation on first down. This is Gill again for a pickup of about 7. And just to finish up on that Marshall story, because Tim Brand talked about the fact that he'd been talked to by the officials, Marshall has gotten a reputation among some of Florida's opponents this season as a cheap shot artist, as a man who likes to make the late hit, hits you a little bit harder than is necessary, and so wherever he goes on the road, he does not get the most welcome reception.
Al, I think that's unfair. I've watched Marshall play 3 times and looked at other film. He is aggressive. He does go all out. But I don't think that's fair to say that he's cheap shot artist. I think they're trying to put pressure on him and make him slow down unnecessarily and unfairly.
Second down and 1 from the 32-yard line, and Long tries to thread his way for a first down and does, as he takes it out to the 35-yard line, and we've got a penalty marker down.
Al, what happened there, Long changed the play. Moritz was to run an out pattern. He didn't get the the audible and didn't run the pass pattern.
All right, here's the spot right here.
And the penalty is against Iowa. Looks like a holding call is coming up.
Offense holding during the run. Holding. 10 yards, second down.
Well, that changes your strategy from 2nd and 1 to 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10. That's a tough break for Iowa. Look at the penalties. As we mentioned earlier, very few practices. Each team had 8 practices in the 6-week period since middle November.
2nd down and 9 with the ball now at the 24-yard line. And again, you've got a marker. And you've got Gill breaking this one out to the 42-yard line.
Marshall had jumped up inside, Al. One of the special defenses that Florida had put in for this game. Marshall, number 88, is going to move in the gap between the guard and center and try to shoot the gap, and he jumps the snap count a little bit early. Relk, number 66, blocks him, but the offside penalty is obviously declined.
Decline. First down.
Frank, what do you think? I mean, the refs now have been wearing the mics in college ball for about 3 or 4 years, but they just give it to you generically. Are we going to see the day when they announce who the guilty party is, the player and the number?
I don't believe that we will. I think that the college people are satisfied with the role that the officials play right now without actually identifying the player.
First down from the 41-yard line. They give it to the fullback, and that's Granger who finds a big hole, and all of a sudden a fumble as Iowa begins to exploit the Florida defense, but it was dead when he touched the ground. When his knee went down, that was the end of the play, and thus there is no fumble recovery by Florida, and Iowa has a first down at the Gator 41.
When you can run the football right at your opponent, it takes something out of the defense. They're picking on the nose guard. A good block by Hilgenberg, the center, on the substitute nose man. Big gain by Granger. Fumble was after he was down. Once any part of the ball carrier's body other than his hand or feet touch the ground, the play is over immediately at that point.
That's Roy Harris, number 99. So the hitting is beginning to take its toll.
Ricky Williams, number 52, was a substitute nose guard, and Hilgenberg blocked him very handily, opening up the area for fullback Granger to run.
Roy Harris comes out, and Melvin Ellison, who's a junior from Perry, Florida, is the man who comes in.
Now we're seeing a lot of injuries, and sometimes this happens after a delayed layoff. You know, 2 or 3 weeks, the players just aren't in condition to play this type of ball.
On 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line, Gill gets about 3. You know, it's a ball game, and yet, as far as this stadium is concerned, Florida pretty much feels at home here. Keep in mind, if you don't already know it, that the Gators come in and play Georgia every year at the Gator Bowl. So if you're a senior on the University of Florida football team and you've been there 4 years, this is the 5th time you've been in this stadium. So it's their home away from home.
But Florida's only won 1 out of the last 7 or 8 games here.
That was the next point I was going to make. It's been a tough place for them to win. Phillips.
Offensive line, the senior offensive line of Iowa, doing a good job, Al. Obviously, Hayden Fry said, hey, we're going to establish something in the running game first before we try to pass. We're going to bring those linebackers and quarterbacks up close. Then we can throw the football later. Pretty good strategy. It's working right now.
Clock running with 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the 3rd period. Florida leading Iowa by a score of 14-6, and it's 3rd down and a long 1 from the 32-yard line.
Something fancy could be here. Nope, just him.
Phillips. Well, maybe they should have done something fancy because he didn't get it. Bruce Vaughn pushed him back, number 47.
Good defensive play on short yardage. Penetrate, force the ball carrier to break to the outside, thereby losing his momentum and force. Beautifully played. Phillips broke to the outside, had no muscle to turn up and make yardage.
So 4th down and 1.
I believe I'd put Gill back in there, tailback. I believe he's a little better inside runner.
The way he's been going. Newton's back in. Nose guard, 56. Going with Phillips, the tailback. Pitch it to him, back of a couple of blocks, and he gets the first down as he chugs to the 30-yard line. Gang tackle there.
Boy, Phillips really turned it up, ran right through some would-be tacklers. Florida continues to have good pursuit. You can see the cornerback, Eastman, right up on the line of scrimmage. There's the 3 or 4 orange shirts, but Phillips will not go down. He has to cross that line, and he does and makes the first down. A lot of orange shirts.
He pays for it as well. Injury to one of the Gators right here. That's Randy Clark, who's shaken up, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Artie, where you running? I thought walking was the name of your game.
Come on, O.J., we got a plane to catch, and I want to get a receipt.
Hey, no problem, Arnie. Now even a golfer can return a Hertz car in a hurry.
And still get a receipt?
Sure. You just walk up to the new Hertz Express Service return desk, hand over your rental agreement, and you get a computerized receipt in a matter of seconds. See, Arnie, that you didn't know you were that fast.
Yeah, I'm a regular Franco Harris.
Hertz, the #1 way to rent a car.
That's a big step, Tom.
I'm still gonna go to college, Dad, but after the Army.
I thought you wanted to be an electrical engineer.
I'll be learning about electronics, and I can qualify for the Army College Fund.
If you qualify, the Army College Fund will help you accumulate as much as $20,100 for tuition.
So you're gonna be a soldier?
Be all that you can be. And an engineer. You can do it.
Be a good one.
In the Army.
It was just another place in the world until the Clown Princess of Basketball bounced in with their famous antics. Your family won't want to miss the Harlem Globetrotters in Hong Kong. Plus, weightlifters compete to see who's the pound-for-pound best. ABC's Wide World of Sports, January 7th.
Randy Clark, who was shaken up, yet another injury, and we've had a plethora of them here in the second half. He comes out for the moment, and Roger Sybil takes his place as the strong safety. Iowa has moved to another first down. They are inside the Florida 30-yard line. 2:38 remaining, third period. And for a change, we've got guys jumping off before the play.
Now, we're going to see the offensive linemen, Al, were in an up position. They didn't have their hand down, so it should be a penalty against Florida. Yes, the official called it right. The offensive lineman moves. You can see the offensive lineman to the left is going to move just, the defense jumped first, right on the center's nose. I think someone on the left offensively moved. Yeah, look.
Encroachment, defense, first down.
Until the offensive linemen take their three-point stance, they can move or shift.
So it's first down and 5. 10 penalties for 87 yards against Florida. Give the ball to Phillips, and he gets clotheslined by number 99, Roy Harris, as he went by. Harris had other ideas.
Harris was third in tackles for the Florida defense with 104, playing on the right side of the defense, away from right-handed teams. You would think that he wouldn't make that many plays. It shows he's got good pursuit, good quickness to make plays from behind, just as he did.
Frigid weather and all, and the temperature right now may very well be in the high 20s. 81,293 at the Gator Bowl. Second down from the 23. It is second down and 3. Long on an option play, pitching it to Phillips, and he's wrapped up by Vaughn with help from McKeever.
Well, Iowa went to their bag of tricks. Long is not an option quarterback. They tried to pitch it outside. The blockers stripped the lead blocker out of the play. There's nothing there. Good defensive play. Florida's been very effective on wide plays, Al. They've been hurt up the middle, but not on wide plays.
Hurt up the middle early in this drive as Gill picked up a good part of the yardage getting to the 50-yard line. Now they're bogging down a little bit.
Well, this drive started from the old 10-yard line, and that always increases the probability of a mistake before you can get it all the way across that goal line.
Third down and 8. Long being pursued by Harris, being pursued by Marshall, and they get him. Wilbur Marshall and Roy Harris. Must sound like a couple of trains coming after you.
from the low angle, you're going to see that both Harris, number 99, Marshall, number 88, are coming from the backside. Both of these young men have excellent speed and quickness, and they were just finally caught long and threw him to the ground, and Hayden's got to decide right here whether he wants to go for a field goal. Under these circumstances, I think that he would.
Well, he's going to take a timeout here to decide.
Yes. Well, that's good. Think about it a little bit.
Well,
4th and 4, trailing by 8 points.
Yeah, 42 seconds to play in the third period. Well, what do you do at this point, Coach? You've been there many times before.
Well, I've got to consider what my offense has been doing all during the ball game. They've got a little momentum now, and they've moved the ball, but Florida's going to be up on the line of scrimmage. The question is whether you want to go for the pass and the first down or kick the field goal. I personally would kick the field goal right here so I wouldn't have to go for 2 to just tie. You're going to have to get 2 scores to win. Touchdown and a field goal, or 2 touchdowns. I take the field goal right here.
And also, you've got the benefit of having the wind at your back right now, and you won't have that in the 4th period.
When you need to go for the touchdown, that's a good point.
Well, you convinced Hayden. He just sent in the field goal unit.
I coached him well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hayden Fry was a quarterback at Baylor when Frank Broyles was an assistant coach.
Now, excuse me, the Florida coaches said that I was only run on 4th down 1 time in 11 games.
So here's Nickel, a 40-yard kick at an angle. They spotted at the 30. The kick is going to be short. No good. Hit a little knuckleball, did Nickel. And so Fry's decision does not turn out to be the optimum one.
Fry, Iowa used a fake kick, fake field goal, and pass for a touchdown against Michigan. And Florida anticipated that and only rushed 3 people, so Nickel had plenty of time. He just missed it.
So now the Florida Gators will go into the wind, but only for the next 37 seconds, and then they'll have the wind at their backs for the final 15 minutes. They lead by a score of 14-6. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line with Wayne Peace dropping back to pass. Under some pressure, gets off the throw. It's complete to Williams, and he takes it out to the 32-yard line and close to a first down. He is stopped by Mike Stoops, a junior from Youngstown, Ohio.
Peace is so effective. It has been for 4 years, throwing to the backs coming out of the backfield. Linebackers dropping so deep that it leaves a good running room and good reception room for the fullback slipping out of the backfield.
Clock running down, Florida breaking the huddle. The question is whether they'll get the play off before time expires, and it's doubtful, and they do not. And so that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Florida 14, Iowa 6, and we'll be back after this commercial message and a word from your local stations.
This is Mr. Goodrich, and did you know there are ways you can tell if your GM car's shock absorbers are okay? For one, check your tires. If they show unusual wear, like cupping at one spot, it can mean worn shocks. Make your car hard to handle. So see Mr. Goodwrench. I have the right equipment, training, and genuine GM Blue Line replacement shocks available. They have a lifetime limited warranty.
It's another of Mr. Goodwrench's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Premiering in 1 week.
Close enough to blow in your ear.
The police helicopter of the future will be fighting crime today.
Come out of your vehicles with your hands up.
Hang on for the ride of your life with Blue Thunder in 1 week starting at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Are you ready for the first step?
At Les Schwab, we're at your service. Everywhere. Every day.
Back then, buying a car was fun. Experience that same feeling at Sunfair Chevrolet. I'm Bob Hall, and my staff and I are working hard to provide you with a better solution to your automotive needs. It's not only a question of a good deal when you buy a car, but a question of both quality and value. At Sunfair, value is simply giving you knowledgeable assistance, about the car you want at a price you can afford. Invest a little time with us. We'll provide the answers you need.
Season's greetings from KAPP, Channel 35, Yakima.
All right, there are the numbers through 3. Frank Sickham.
Well, Iowa leads in first downs, tied in rushing. Iowa leads in passing. They lead in total yardage. They also lead in the wrong figure in turnovers, time of possession, but the field position has been the big key. Iowa has started most of their possessions on the 20-yard line back to their 10-yard line. Not much scoring opportunity.
Well, we start the 4th quarter in Jacksonville. Al Michaels, Frank Broyles, and Tim Brandt with you. Florida has the ball, 2nd down and inches at their own 32-yard line. Wayne Peace starts the 4th quarter by giving it to Williams. It's a great run as he escapes. He moves to the 50. He goes to the Iowa 40, tightropes the sideline, and goes out of bounds at the 36, and he's stopped by Keith Hunter. That's a beautiful run by Williams, who was looking for just a couple to get the 1st down and winds up deep in Iowa territory.
From the low angle, watch Williams get hit right here. He doesn't go down. He keeps those legs churning. What a runner he is. Turns down the field, gives a little change of pace on Hunter, number 14, and runs right by him. Comes close to going all the way before he's knocked out of bounds.
1st down for the Gators with the ball at the 36-yard line. 32-yard pickup. And another penalty marker goes down as John Williams was the ball carrier again.
The umpire threw the penalty, and that's an area where there's usually holding.
That's what Spitzig is trying to tell the bench, and that's what Garvey is telling us right now as well.
That will move Florida back and give them 1st and 20. I'm not sure how many penalties that is for Florida. Something over 10, I know that.
Yep, we already had 10 8 or 9 minutes ago. Charlie Pell, 6 of his last 7 teams have gone to bowl games.
10-yard holding during the run. Started a foul. 2nd down.
2nd down coming up. Pell leading Florida into 4 straight bowl games. Before that, he led Clemson into the Gator Bowl twice in a row. But you'll recall that in 1978, he had signed with Florida before Clemson got here. And so he was not the coach that night on the sidelines.
Danny Ford was the coach.
Danny Ford to Dixon. Dixon's going to throw, and it is incomplete, intended for B. Lang. B. Lang, the receiver.
Little razzle-dazzle. The quarterback is going to throw the ball a lateral, meaning the ball is thrown behind him to Dixon. Dixon then has the option of either running or throwing a forward pass. Only one forward pass on any down. The ball is backward. Now Dixon, left-handed as he is, winds up and throws the ball deep to Lang. Lang is 5 yards in behind the Iowa secondary, but the ball is long and goes incomplete.
And so it is 2nd down and 25 from the 49-yard line. Peace throws incomplete. 3rd and 25. Ricky Natil was the intended receiver. So Charlie Pell, just to finish up on that story, Frank, led Clemson in here in 1977. Then in 78, he gets the Gator Bowl invitation, but signs with Florida in early December. So Clemson elects to have Danny Ford coach the team here. And, of course, Clemson won that night in a memorable game. That was the night that Woody Hayes hit Charlie Bowman, the linebacker, and summarily ended his coaching career.
You see that Charlie Pell played on the 1961 National Championship team in Alabama. We played them in the Sugar Bowl. They were a great football team. Leroy Jordan was captain.
The pass is complete to Gary Roll, number 86, who makes his first reception of the game. A man who has played very sparingly tonight. And in fact, in the regular season, Roll caught only 7 passes.
If fans only knew how many times an offense stops themselves, very few times during a ball game does a defense stop the opposing offense. A penalty put Florida in bad position, and they have to punt.
We saw the up-to-the-minute weather forecast as Criswell does the kicking, and it's fielded at the 14-yard line. It was not a fair catch, but the ball was dead when Robert Smith's knee hit the ground. Then he tried to get up, and he was hit. There's no flag, or there is a flag now down, as Joe Henderson came down to make the stop. But let's see about the call.
I think they'll wipe the call off.
Should.
The only thing it could be would be crawling, which is can be called, but I'm not sure what they're going to do here.
Well, his knee went down, and then the instinctive reaction was to get up and attempt to advance it. We'll see what Garvey's got to say about all this.
We had an illegal formation. 6 men on the line by the kicking team. Decline. First down.
So the penalty had nothing to do with the end of the play. It had to do with the inception. 14:07 remaining in the game. It is still 14-6. Gators.
Chevrolet taking charge.
Move into more celebrity excitement.
Eurosport.
The new front-drive Celebrity Eurosport. Special F41 sports suspension straightens out curves in a car that looks as special as it feels.
Eurosport.
Move into more celebrity. Eurosport. A touch of Europe at a Chevrolet price.
Chevrolet.
And you.
Taking charge.
Across America, 7-Eleven gives you the freedom to be an early bird, a night owl, freedom to give a reward for bravery, freedom to take a break, or to answer the call for help. 7-Eleven's business is based on freedom. So now we're a major sponsor of the 1984 U.S. Olympic team, giving great athletes the freedom to pursue their dream of becoming the best. 7-Eleven, the dream begins with freedom.
14 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. Just before we went to commercial, you saw that up-to-the-minute detailed weather. 31 degrees, wind chill factor 18. Some of the crowd starting to leave. As Iowa takes over from the 14-yard line on first down, and Long's throw to Harmon is complete. And then Harmon is stopped just shy of picking up the first down by Roger Sybil, number 25.
A strange number. That was Long's first pass of the second half, which shows you what Hayden said at the halftime. I'm coming out, we're going to run that football until we establish some run.
They did, but their drive bogged down, and they came up empty when the field goal attempt was short. Now they're down by 8. They have the ball at their own 23-yard line, and it's second down and 1.
And it's taken 10 seconds to get the play called. Al, they're going to have to hustle again.
From the 23, they fake, and he's going to go for it deep on second and 1, and it's going to be picked off by Lilly after a juggling act. And Lilly takes it back to the Iowa 40-yard line and is decked at the 39. Tony Lilly picks off his second of the night, and guess what? We got another penalty marker down.
This is Lilly's second interception of the ball game, all Southeastern Conference. And I repeat, the 6th interception of the year, but I repeat, the Iowa coaches told me this morning they feel like he is really the catalyst of the Florida defense. He gambles, but he seems to be always right when he comes up. He's right when he stays back. He's right as he did on this occasion.
Meanwhile, here's the call.
During the run back, we had a clip in advance of where the run ended. 15 yards from where the run ended. First down.
I could have told you that without even seeing the play. That's happened on every play tonight.
Just about every open field play has had a clip. Moritz is going deep. You can see Lilly number 18 playing him, but the ball is underthrown. When you throw deep down the middle and you underthrow it, it's likely to be intercepted.
And so Lilly runs it back. Some of that run back is negated. Nonetheless, Florida has the football at the 40 with 13:02 to play, and the Gators on top 14-6 in Jacksonville.
These buttermilk biscuits remind me of home. Why, remember
Whenever we'd have Kentucky Fried Chicken, Mom made biscuits for us.
Mom never made me biscuits. Chicken's real special. Hey, Mom never made me biscuits.
And the biscuits are made from scratch,
Yeah.
just like Mom.
Yeah, but see, Mom never made me biscuits.
Too bad, too bad. Because it tasted just like these.
She never made me biscuits.
Kentucky Fried Chicken and biscuits made from scratch. What a match! They do chicken right.
Televideo personal computers equip the professional for success. Because Televideo's innovative design produces powerful, sensibly priced computers that communicate with one another and grow as rapidly as you do. Televideo, personal computers that equip you to attain that most coveted objective, a business boom. Televideo, personal computers. Get in on the boom.
It was just another place in the world until the Clown Princess of Basketball bounced in with their famous antics. Your family won't want to miss the Harlem Globetrotters in Hong Kong. Plus, weightlifters compete to see who's the pound-for-pound best. ABC's Wide World of Sports, January 7th.
That's the lineup now on Saturday, the 7th of January, a week from tomorrow. It all gets underway with ABC Sports Beat with Howard Cosell going into its third season. Then, the season premiere of the Pro Boulders Tour, Anaheim, California. The initial stop this year, and ABC's Wide World of Sports in year 23. All getting underway 3 o'clock Eastern Time, a week from tomorrow. Florida has the football at the 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Florida leading 14-6. Florida trying to wind up in the top 10 for the first time in the school's history. Peace back to pass. And through the hands of B. Lang, whose brother Walter is a starting defensive back for UCLA. So we'll be taking a look at him in Pasadena on Monday.
Florida has mixed up their signal call in very effectively, even though they haven't scored in this second half. The first down, deep drop back, and you can look at the comparisons of the quarterbacks. So we said that the quarterback that gets a hot hand in bowl games usually wins. Don't think either one of them have been too hot tonight.
Nope, nope.
They've been effective at times, but ineffective at others.
Hampton to the 46-yard line goes Lorenzo Hampton, a junior from Lake Wells, Florida. Stopped by Mitchell, who has 2 interceptions. Pickup of close to 9, Frank, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with both. In fact, all the runners of Florida, they seem to have the quickness, more quickness than our runners. And in particular, Anderson, Williams, and Hampton have that acceleration that you look for in runners.
He's deep back there. When's the last time you saw one of those face masks in Florida? 3rd down and 1. Yeah, what a night for the C of C, huh?
Another Florida penalty.
Flag is down as Neil Anderson gets stopped. An illegal procedure appears to be the call, or illegal motion, and that is the call against the Gators.
Instead of 3rd and 1, they're going to have 3rd and 6. Throws Florida in a potential passing down rather than a easy running down, which they made the first down, I believe. I'm sure Charlie Pell, as we watch him game tonight, what's world's going on? Why are we getting so many penalties?
Both teams all
They're
night.
going to refuse the penalty.
2 people moving. Decline.
Now Pell has got a decision. He's going to go for it. I question that call. Under these circumstances, I would force Florida into a passing situation, not a 4th and a foot.
Well, let's see how this call turns out. 4th down and inches from the 45-yard line. And it's Anderson, and I guess they feel when you've got somebody like an Anderson who uses his body to either hurdle or knife or slice his way for first downs, you might as well use him.
That was a great dive by Anderson. Al, he didn't go up high where the linebackers could get him. He went over with his body leaning forward. It was impossible to stop him short of the first down.
And angled those shoulders and made it tough to get a hold of him.
Wasn't any room to make the tackle. I really question the call of 4th down and a foot instead of 3rd and 6.
First down from inside the 45-yard line. And it's John Williams carrying for 2. Well, you may have thought Hayden only knows about passing, but what about strategy, Frank?
Well, they were taking a little chance. I think they felt like something big had to happen, and they lost that.
All right, let's check in with Tim Brandt. Tim?
Al, at the last 8 minutes of the third quarter, there were 5 injuries on the Florida side. When I talked to the medical staff, they said the reson for that is tonight's cold weather.
That's right.
Now, you guys have been talking about the penalties and the sloppy play out on there offensively on both sides. Part of that, too, is the cold weather. Boy, it's so cold down here, you can't even think. It's even an effort. It takes an effort to talk.
The muscles aren't warm and flexed, Al, and they are vulnerable in cold weather.
What language was that you were using, Tim? As Anderson takes the ball inside the 35 to the 34, and Devon Mitchell makes the tackle, and that's a first down. But, of course, everything, let's face it, folks, is relative, because I'm sure there are a lot of people sitting in Minnesota and North Dakota tonight saying, what are you talking about, cold at 31 degrees?
Been 30 below zero, chill factor up in the 40s and 50s in that part of the country for about a week. That's Chuck Long, very disappointed right now. Thrown for 8 interceptions, threw for 8 interceptions, 11 games, 3 tonight.
First down from the 34-yard line. And it's Anderson who gets stopped at the line of scrimmage. Well, most of the Iowans, I'm sure, have stayed. They came down. About 22,000 folks from the state came down, and they've had good success now in recent times at Iowa. Their football team has really turned it around. 3 straight bowl games. The wrestling team's been terrific under Dan Gable, who will be the Olympic coach. The basketball team this year went out and hired George Raveling, who came over from the Palouse country, from Washington State, to go to Iowa City to take over that program.
That's some of the Iowa crowd. They're here loyal, and they're tremendous fans, believe in their program.
On second down, it's a reverse to B. Lang. He's in a lot of trouble. Thanks to Tony Wenckett, number 92.
I haven't seen a trick play work tonight.
No.
Can we blame that on the weather? No, not really. The trick plays have just not been successful tonight. 3rd and long. Iowa still just trails by 8 points. They're still in the ball game. They're still in the ball game. The longer they have a chance to stay in it, the better chance they've got. Something big could happen in their favor.
3rd down, 17 from the 41-yard line. Peace. And it's incomplete, and the crowd wants a flag, but there is none. On a night when we've had laundry all over the joint, on the one play in which it looks like we're going to definitely get one, we don't see one.
Dixon is going to break inside, Al. The ball has to be thrown before he breaks. Now, Freya, number 29, is coming up to make the play. He makes a great play. If it was simultaneous, it's a good play. Just one of those judgments. Judgment by the official who was right on the spot.
Criswell is angling his kick, and it just does bounce. They tried to bat it back out, but it did go into the end zone. It did go, and Criswell was really upset. He thought they had it stopped.
The college rule is that you cannot bat the ball anytime, and it is a foul. It's not a penalty, but it is a foul.
Now they've dropped a couple of markers, in fact, in the end zone right now.
In my judgment, they'll bring the ball back to the 20. They'll pick up the flag and walk to the 20.
Well, they're going to be led back
to the 20.
To the 20-yard line, yeah.
It's illegal to bat the ball.
Here's the call.
The ball was batted in the end zone by the kicking team. A touchback is the call. First down.
Where that call can hurt you, Al, is if you had a penalty against the defense, they would offset, and you wouldn't get the ball back. Here it is again. You can see the ball breaks the plane, the goal line plane. Now Florida bats it back, which is illegal. It's a foul. It's not a penalty. The official will throw the flag right there and then walk the ball back to the 20. From the end zone, let's see if we can see it again. Nope, it's to the right. Yeah, you can see the Florida player bats the ball back. Not legal in college.
So with 8 minutes and 53 seconds and Fry discussing things with Long, it's Florida 14 and Iowa 6.
Sharp presents the genius of the keyboard, playing Sharp's new CS4800, the office calculator that performs like a computer. He performs difficult what-if projections instantly. Next, he performs on our remarkable calculator, Sharp's EL7050. It prints out 4-color charts and graphs brilliantly. Whatever your calculator needs, Sharp offers a very, very wide range.
From sharp minds come sharp products.
America's most popular replacement battery has a new lean challenger. The Motivator 650, smaller, yet technologically superior. Made by Delco Remy for Kmart, the 650 delivers 125 more cold cranking amps than the Die-Hard. The maintenance-free Motivator 650, just $59 and backed by the K-Care promise.
The sweetest bowl of the year. Number 3 ranked Auburn tries to stir things up with Michigan in the Sugar Bowl, January 2nd on ABC.
In cold Jacksonville, Florida, with 8:53 remaining to be played in the game, Iowa has the ball at the 20-yard line. They trail 14-6. Chuck Long is the quarterback. He gives it to Gill, and Gill is stopped after a gain of 1. Owen Gill. It's 2nd down and 9. This program an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. We'll pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
You're viewing KAPP Channel 35 Yakima and KVEW Channel 42 Kennewick.
The Gator Bowl, Al Michaels along with Frank Broyles. Tim Brandt working the sideline. In the 4th quarter with 8:22 remaining. 2nd down and 9 from the 21-yard line. Long. Out to the 22. Made a good point before, Frank, in that Iowa, despite all of their mistakes tonight, problems, still very much in the game, down by 8. Sort of similar in a way to that Aloha Bowl game the other night, where Washington really controlled the game, but Penn State hung close, and the next thing you know, when it's all over and done with, Paterno's got a victory.
And the kicking game entered into that ball game. A short punt set Penn State up, and they took the ball right in for the winning touchdown.
By the way, what about Paterno's pants the other night? Did you see those pants?
Oh, just Paisley, I guess that.
Yeah,
Paisley.
Joe's going to the ophthalmologist immediately upon re-entry to State College. 3rd down and 8 from the 22-yard line. That's batted and intercepted at the 28-yard line by Freddie McAllister, number 46. So another interception. Lily's had 2 tonight. And now the pick off here at a most injudicious time for Iowa.
When the quarterback rolls to the left, he has to throw the ball more sidearm. McAllister was a linebacker, just happened to be in the line of fire. But watch the play to the left. Watch how low the ball is thrown by Long. Right over the shoulder, not up at all. And McAllister, 46, jumps up high, deflects it, waits for it to come down, catches it for the interception. Just a great play. He's the leading tackler for the Gators this year.
That's the 4th interception of a long pass tonight. And Anderson gets spilled by 41 coming up from the secondary, Mike Stoops.
Hey, Bobby Stoops is quite a story. His brother was a great player for Iowa for 3 years. He substituted for him, number 41. He's the strong safety. He's the 2nd leading tackler, has 6 interceptions. All Big Ten, even though he started just for the first time this year. They say he's the most reckless player on that team, and he grew up with Ray Boom Boom Mancini. He was a child. They were boyhood friends.
2nd down from the 31-yard line as Peace throws incomplete, intended for John Williams. 3rd down.
Al, the Florida team must feel like they want to get another touchdown right away because they were very successful running the ball early on the earlier possessions. Now they've come out throwing on 1st and 2nd down. 8 out of 21, 80 yards, 2 interceptions. That's far below his seasonal average. Just incredibly different.
Third down, 14. Peace gets pressure and then throws, and very close to a first down is Dwayne Dixon. Dixon is just short, as you can see. Perfectly lined up there for you as Nate Creer made the stop.
Dixon is going to push down. Single coverage. The blitz was on. Creer, number 29, was covering. Dixon must get the defensive back to think he's going deep. Give a good push. Now come back to the ball. Come back to the ball. The ball was thrown low outside, away from the defensive back, given the completion. That was excellent execution. Good route, good throw. The timing was perfect by Peace.
The route could have been slightly better, only in the sense that he was just that close to picking up a first down. I'm sure he probably thought he had it. He could see where the marking was, but he had to come back just that extra couple of inches or so, and as a consequence, you've now got a fourth down coming up.
Anderson over the top.
Might as well. It's worked before. Everybody in the ballpark knows it. He used the tailback in the power ride. So look for 27 to get it, and look for a little leap. And there you go, but they may have stopped him. Kevin Spitzig, number 38. He was the man who certainly knew what was coming.
Was that a big play by the Iowa defense?
Kept him in the game.
Let's see where they spotted. Iowa think they've stopped him short of the first down.
I'm sure they have.
Penetration. What happens on that type of play? Penetration by the defensive lineman. Allow the linebacker to come over the top and put his headgear right into the number. If the linemen don't penetrate and get underneath the blockers, it'll be an automatic first down. What a play. He lost yardage, Al.
He did. He did.
Let's see the play again. Watch Anderson start over the top. He doesn't twist his shoulders. You shouldn't corkscrew those shoulders. He just jumps straight up, and you see the penetration. Number 38, Kevin Spitzig, is right there. Makes a tremendous play.
So Iowa still very much in it with 6:08 to go. Hawks have the ball, trail by 8 in Jacksonville.
Holography. IBM is using it to speed you through supermarket lines. Inside this box is the innovative IBM checkout scanner. It uses holography to send out light beams that wrap around almost any package to quickly locate and read the barcode. The code identifies the product to a computer, which has the store's current price list. Holography. Another way IBM puts technology to work for you.
For years now, we've been kidding Jim here about his eyesight. The fact is that Jim has the eyes of an eagle.
Thanks, Boog.
Why, he's one of the first guys to spot light beer from Miller. Saw right away that light tastes great and it's less filling.
Sure, all you have to do is read the label. It says light has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer.
I think you want this, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
As I was saying, it's as plain as the nose on your face.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Oh, I don't believe this.
February in Sarajevo. These are the fastest sports in the Winter Olympics. America's never won a medal in the luge. We haven't won in the bobsled since 1956, but just wait.
Well, in the background there, you can see the television screen being supported by a crane outside the Gator Bowl with the replays at all. As Iowa takes over now at its own 19-yard line, 1st and 10. They're down by 8, and Long, who's been intercepted 4 times tonight, throws to Harmon, and he's run right out of bounds by Wilbur Marshall on the far side.
As we look at Chuck Long, all Big Ten quarterback, has 12 Iowa records, but tonight has not been his night. Give credit to the Florida defensive secondary. 11 out of 25. 154, but what has really been damaging is the 4 interceptions. Now, Iowa has got to really be careful with their offense. They've got to open up and throw some short passes and mix up a few draws and screens to try to keep the ball and move down for a score.
2nd and 5 from the 23-yard line. And that's almost picked off. Right in the hands of Tim Newton.
What's happening to Long? Long is looking downfield. He has 3 receivers, 20 yards downfield. Florida has them covered. Then he desperately looked off and avoids the loss. Watch the protection of the offensive line. They give Long plenty of time. 1,001, 1,002. Finally tries to dump the ball right over the line of scrimmage, and was nearly intercepted, as Al pointed out. 3rd and 6, Al. That's passing down.
And they send Harmon out to the right side. Moritz is split to the left, use a stand-up tight end on the right. Send 3 men into the pattern, and now add a back, and it's not going to do Long any good at all. Wilbur Marshall, number 88, your All-America linebacker. 6'1", 237, a senior, Titusville, Florida. And little doubt, I haven't talked to a pro scout who doesn't think that Marshall will go in the first round and very high in the first round.
Well, you're going to see Marshall just overpower the left defensive tackle who was blocking on him. Levelis gets pushed right back into the quarterback, and Marshall makes the critical sack.
Now Tom Nickel has to do a little jump to come down with the snap. And the punt is fielded at the 49-yard line and returned a yard or two by Roger Sybil. So the Gators are at midfield as you look at Marshall. Florida with the ball at the 50, 5:09 remaining in the game. Gators 14, Hawkeyes 6.
It's Chevy's big USA1 year-end sales drive. Chevy dealers are out to sell 250,000 cars and trucks by year's end. And with so many to sell, it's dealing time. But hurry, it all ends January 4th. And to make it easy to buy now, here's a first-time offer from Chevrolet. Take retail delivery now and make no monthly payments until March 1st with GMAC financing. When you buy a new Chevette or Citation 2, or any new Blazer, pickup, Suburban, or El Camino. Hurry, see your Chevy dealers now.
I've got my hands full all day. That's why AT&T's evening special is the long distance buy for me.
Saving 40% when I can relax gets an A in my book.
40% off. That's music to my bills.
AT&T saves you 40% when you dial direct weekdays and Sundays from 5 to 11 p.m. That's a pretty smooth deal. Savings when you have time to enjoy them. That's AT&T.
Reach out and touch someone.
Well, a little anniversary peek back to the 1960 Gator Bowl. Number 24 is Jim Moody in the Gator Bowl Hall of Fame, and that was the year Arkansas came in. Right after the 1959 season, they played the game on the 2nd of January 1960. Arkansas beat Georgia Tech, coached by Bobby Dodd, 14-7. And the mentor at Arkansas in his second year was the man himself, Frank Broyles, who made every correct decision that day.
I don't know about that, but it was a great thrill to win your first bowl game as a head coach.
First down from the 49-yard line, and this is Williams who gains close to 10 as he gets inside the 40 as Mike Stoops makes the stop. And for you, Frank, coaching at Arkansas, you beat your alma mater that day as well.
Well, yes, it was a great game for us, and Arkansas fans were so excited. The first bowl game they'd been to in a number of years. And the Gator Bowl people here were most cordial and hospitable. We had a wonderful time and won. That helps too.
Yeah, Georgia Tech threw you out of the Alumni Association, but outside of that, no problem.
I was out of that earlier.
Second down and 1 with the ball at the 40-yard line. Fullback Joe Henderson picks up 7 yards and a first down to the 33-yard line as the clock runs down to 4:24.
Bromley, number 50, the offensive center, just turns the nose guard, allowing the fullback Henderson to go right up the middle. This is what Florida has really been most successful with, is running straight at our team, making some good yardage up the middle.
Wayne Peace closing out his career at Gainesville from the 33-yard line. Pitches it back to Henderson again, and he really can't get started as the tackle is made by number 38, Kevin Spitzig. Again, coming up will be the Sugar Bowl in 3 nights from New Orleans as Michigan takes on Auburn in an intriguing matchup right there.
Well, you know, Auburn still has a chance to be the national champion, even though Nebraska's undefeated, Texas undefeated. I remember the year we were undefeated, Nebraska was undefeated, Michigan State was undefeated, all 3 of us lost, and Alabama won the championship. So Auburn still feels that they have a chance to win the national championship. And I do believe that's a possibility.
Second down and 9, and John Williams is the ball carrier again as you look at the clock. Time ticking away for the Iowa Hawkeyes as Florida comes up with a 3rd down and 7 now at the 30-yard line. It's a very big play here for Florida because if they can pick up a 1st down, they can chew up a good part of the rest of the clock.
This is the kind of situation you want to throw a very safe pass. If you go put it in the air, throw it close to the line of scrimmage where you can see the receiver and where there's no defensive men around. Draw play is a good play here, too.
Flag is down. Williams was leaning forward, and you've got a sack. So the penalty should be declined. Williams was punching forward in the backfield. Paul Hufford gets the sack. There's the call for illegal motion, and they can decline it. And that means we'll probably see Florida's short punter come in.
And
the ball at the 38.
The ball stops inside the 5. You're going to Mitch hello to his parents again.
If he puts another one inside the 5, we'll say another hello to Mr. and Mrs. Nardoni up in Andover, Massachusetts. 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
And Florida's going to let the clock run and use all of these 25 seconds, even if they get a 5-yard penalty. It won't make any difference.
Right. One of the Florida players, it was Wayne Peace, in fact, was looking, I think, to call a timeout and then realized that I don't have to do that, even if the clock runs down and we get a delay call. It's Criswell who does the punting, by the way, and there's the delay call. And, of course, in a situation like this, it's not going to hurt you because you're going to try to angle it anyway. So a 5-yard penalty with 2:17 to play in the game. It's 14-6, Florida.
McNugget mania grows. When McDonald's introduced Chicken McNuggets, one question was on everybody's lips.
Hot mustard, sweet and sour, honey, barbecue sauce.
Now there's a bigger question.
6, 9, 20.
McDonald's introduces the Big 9 McNugget size and the even bigger 20 McNugget size. McNuggets have changed the way America thinks about chicken.
Now all I think about is McNuggets.
McNuggets, McDonald's and you.
Do you know me? I'm one of the best-known cowboys in Texas. But a lot of people don't recognize me in a cowboy hat. So I just carry the American Express card. It can help you out in plenty of tough situations because you never know when you're going to be surrounded by redskins. Howdy.
To apply for the card, look for this display and take one.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Wayne Peace's numbers are reflected there. 9 of 22 tonight. He looks on as Criswell does the punting from midfield, tries to angle the kick and pin Iowa deep, and that kick almost made it out of bounds before going in, but not quite. And there is another marker down at the 41-yard line.
I understand that this is a record for penalties in the Gator Bowl, and I know that
Legal motion. Here, decline.
Iowa will decline it. Now they've got only one choice, Al. Go to their 2-minute offense. All running plays discarded except fake pass and run. And it's up to the quarterback, Chuck Long, to have some success.
Referee James Garvey has gotten a little bit of airtime tonight.
I'll tell you, the Florida defense has been outstanding. Their pass coverage by the defensive backs has been the best I've seen this season. There's the total yardage comparison, very even.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Long fakes the draw, then throws, and it's incomplete. And for a change, there is no penalty marker. I tell you, if Garvey announces one more thing, we're going to have to put him in after the Union.
He's been on camera more than we have all season. A cumulative all season.
2nd down.
Once again, all the receivers are covered. Long had to throw the ball away. It was a very poor pass, but no one was open. Hayden can't figure it out. I know he's disappointed. His offense has not gotten on track, but you have to give that credit to the pressure of the Florida defense.
On 2nd down and 10, Long throwing complete to Owen Gill, the running back. And Gill gets out to the 30. See where they're going to spot it, and there's a penalty marker now. My goodness. Well, let's face it, we did go one whole play without a marker, and now we're back where we started again.
Well,
against Iowa, holding.
Frustrated Hayden Fry, but he's had a great year. Iowa University went 19 seasons without a winning team, and then in the third season that Hayden was at Iowa, he put them in the Rose Bowl.
Well, not only that, in their entire history, they had been to 2 bowl games, in both instances the Rose Bowl in the 50s.
Offensive holding during a pass, 10 yards from the previous spot. Second down.
This is their 5th bowl?
It's their 5th bowl total. It's their 3rd in a row, but they've been to more bowls in the last 3 years than they went to in their entire football history, dating back to the early 1900s.
You can see 18 penalties for the ball game, ties the Gator Bowl record.
Second down and 20 from the 10-yard line. Long stepping up and then throwing, and he has a man open, and that's Eddie Phillips. And Phillips takes it back out to the 23-yard line.
Florida defense playing very smart football, moving back, linebackers deepen up, contain Long, keep him in the pocket, just a consistent pressure. Don't try to do anything fancy and make him throw short, eat up the clock.
And that clock shows 1 minute and 49 seconds remaining. Iowa has 2 timeouts remaining.
The shock to me in this ball game has been the coverage by the cornerbacks and safeties on the wide receivers. I don't know how many passes Moritz has caught, but he caught 50 during the season. I'm not sure he's caught any tonight. Moritz.
3rd down and 8.
Zilch.
You're right. You've got 2 penalty flags down. And it's incomplete, intended for Ronnie Harmon.
Now, how do you shut down a receiver like Moritz, who had caught 50 passes during the season? You really have to be well-trained and drilled, and you are pointing to that and forcing Long to go somewhere other than where he wants to go, and that's to Dave, number 5. As we look at Charlotte Pell, wondering what in the world's happened. Penalty after penalty.
This one is against Florida. That clock ticked off a few seconds when it shouldn't have.
I understand. Wait a minute. First, we're going to have an offside defense, 3rd down. Now we have a clock problem, and I'm going to take time out and straighten it out.
All right. I tell you, old James has things well in hand. How this man has not come up with laryngitis tonight is beyond me.
That's a good point, Al. About 4 or 5 seconds, he'll probably run the clock back. 3rd down and 3. Once again, I am amazed that Dave Moritz has not caught a pass in this ball game. There's the time left on the clock.
They're going to put apparently 14 seconds back on the clock is the word we're getting. As Jim Jeanette, our director, superimposes the clock over the electric clock operator's piece right there.
I don't think the clock operator knows how to run it back.
Well, he's the guy they were talking about earlier. Remember when Hayden told Tim Brand at halftime that the electric clock operator was starting things a little too hastily. The electric clock operator is a gentleman by the name of Rom Gilbert. So anyway, Fry apparently gets things straightened out.
Well, no, what happens, they can't run it back. The clock won't run backwards.
Yeah, that's what it amounts to. Well, let's go down to the field and check in with Tim Brand. Tim, what's happening down there?
Al, what's going to happen is they are not going to stop the clock. They're not going to run it back. They're just not going to start the clock until 14 seconds goes by on the timekeeper's wristwatch. When 14 seconds goes by, then they will restart the clock.
All right. So it's 3rd down and 3. That's essential right now. They don't get the 1st down. That's Norm Granger who gets bumped back. You can see how close he came to getting it, but Roger Sibbald, number 25, came up and laid the hit on him to push him back and to keep him away from that 30-yard line. And now the clock has started again. They ran the 14 off.
And Long's over talking to the bench, and the clock is running.
And now they're going to have to take a timeout because they will not be ready to get the next play started. So Iowa spends a timeout here with 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining in the game. And even Fry, I guess, can manage sort of a weak smile. over what's going on right here. So there's a timeout. Iowa has 1 remaining. 1:04 to go in the game. Florida on top, leading Iowa by a score of 14-6.
In 1984, ABC Sports salutes the golden dreams of athletes. The Professional Bowlers Tour, ABC's Wide World of Sports, and ABC Sports Beat are back. Then in February, the Olympic tradition continues with the 14th Winter Games from Sarajevo, Yugoslavia, and the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, the biggest event in the history of television. In 1984, ABC Sports joins the athletes of the world in going for gold. Pure gold.
1:04 to play in the game. Iowa now faced with a 4th and 2.5, let's call it, from the 28-yard line. And this one will be over if they don't pick up the first down, because Florida will be able to run the clock off. Long, under pressure. Harris can't get him, but he's going to get a second chance, and then Long throws it, and Marshall nearly intercepted it. He's ready to kill himself, too. He might have had a touchdown. Harris put the pressure on twice, and that, folks, is going to do it. Iowa can stop the clock 1 time on defense, but Florida has the ball, an 8-point lead, and a Gator Bowl victory in hand as we look at the pressure applied on Long that time.
3-man rush, takes great effort. Harris, number 99, slows it Long down momentarily. He gets up and makes him throw the ball fully and away from the receiver, and it goes incomplete. Great effort by Harris, number 99. Amazing, amazing, the Florida defensive secondary and the job that they've done tonight.
Just inside the 28-yard line on first down, Wayne Peace, all he has to do is go down. And let's see if Iowa wants to stop the clock right now or if they want to stop it at all. And you might as well. You don't know what's going to happen.
They stop it. The final timeout.
Well, for Chuck Long, it's not quite what he had in mind in terms of ending what was a very good season, but he'll be back next year out of Wheaton, Illinois, hometown of Red Grange.
Amazingly, Long had attempted 236 passes, completed 144, 61%, only 8 interceptions and 14 touchdowns. That gives you an idea of the effectiveness of the Florida defense. Joel Kahns, the defensive coordinator, tremendous game plan.
The Gators.
And Florida will surely be ranked in the top 10, Al. You mentioned earlier for the first time. They were 10th and 11th in the polls, I guess, and
right, they're
some
11th.
of those teams have got to lose that are up in front of them.
Well, one of them's playing them tonight. It's Iowa who's number 10.
Oh, that's right.
So you know they're going to pass Iowa, and unless some wild things occur and the voting down the line, they will wind up in the top 10. They have named the Gator Bowl MVPs. Tony Lilly wins the award for Florida with 2 interceptions, and Owen Gill of Iowa, who was very good on that one drive, that long drive in the 3rd period, wins it basically on the basis of what he did right there. Otherwise, their offense was not particularly impressive tonight.
Defense dominated, Al.
It did. It did. Marshall and Harris and Lilly and Vaughn, Cleveland, Johnson, they were the men who had good nights, including Doug Drew, the linebacker who scored the touchdown. I want to thank, as usual, Kelly Hayes and George Hill up here for the great job they've done not only tonight but all season, and also Brian Carter keeping things copacetic in the booth as the crowd and the teams file out. And the final score, Florida 14, Iowa 6. Stay tuned for ABC News Nightline immediately following your local news. Travel arrangements made through it. A promotional fee paid by United Airlines, the official airline of the 1984 LA Olympic Games and proud sponsor of the United States Olympic team. This has been a presentation of ABC.